G'day everybody, it's Seano here, and we're here for our Thursday night live chat featuring your team. And just finished watching the footy, and what a great game it was. But before we get on with all of that, we have to get through the usual standard stuff. So if you haven't already subscribed, please sub and subscribe right now. Do that now before we get on with it. There should be a link down the bottom on the screen. Just got to click that button. Like the video. Yep, before we even get started, just like that video. And if you're watching this in the future, leave me a comment down below telling me how your week's going or what's going on with your team this week. So yeah, let's get on to it. As usual, we usually like to have a bit of a chat. If you're out there in chat, say g'day. Chat should be working. It certainly is. Oh, don't forget to join my Discord. And if you pop your team in where it says post my team here, we will go ahead and put your team up on the screen and feature it. So I hope everyone's doing very well on this Thursday night. And yeah, that was a very exciting game there. Adelaide and Geelong. Adelaide just getting it done in the end. I have to say I was in two minds about my trades. I'll show you what the trades I have done. As we usually have a little bit of a chat about my team, and then we will go and chuck your teams up on the screen. Anyone who's posted it in the screen. So I got Holmes, Rowell, and Kahan out for Lindsay, Anderson, and Flanders. Now, even though in my trades video, if you haven't already watched that one, go back and check that out. And also my round review, which was a really good one. But I said don't get players in like Holmes, but everyone's playing for, you might be playing a little bit different than I am, and I'm playing for my leagues. And I went through and checked all my matchups over the coming rounds, over the bye rounds, and they've all got Holmes, and I didn't have him. So I thought he is a dangerous fade, especially because my opponent this week, it's going to be a tough match for me this week. He had Holmes, and he had him as his vice captain. So, at 100 at half time, he had me a bit scared. I didn't make him my vice captain, but, I thought he might be looking at 130 or 140 plus, but he ended up only getting 10 points in that last quarter. G'day, Michael. How are you? Hope you're doing very well, mate. Good luck to our Eagle boys this weekend. Hey, you think we're going to win against Port? I think we got a chance, but I don't. I think Port might be a little bit angry after we beat them last time, but I think we got a chance of winning this week. I don't want to count too many chickens. When you say they will win, they probably won't. So we'll just say they think they've got a chance. Corey, how are you, good my friend? HHK? That's probably something good for it. I was going to start calling him Genghis Khan, but it's Kahan, so I guess that's not a thing. What a man, you're playing for league and went for Flanders to De Goey and Anderson to Wilmot. McCluggage out for HKHK. Yeah, the whole McCluggage thing is a little bit sad, crew. If you haven't already heard, it sounds... I did the old AI search and it says he has a calf issue, which I believe is what he was having at the beginning of the season. So if you're like me and you bought him in, that could be bad news. And it's also bad news for my league match this week because my opponent had Dunkley and I had McCluggage. And I was hoping that at least McCluggage could even Dunkley for points or get about the same amount to help me win. But no, he's out, which gives my opponent, even though my opponent has two extra GWS players than I do, he has a much better team than I do in the top 1,000. And so, yeah, I'm a little bit worried that I might lose this week. If we have a quick look in the game day, we're predicted to he's predicted to beat me now. We're predicted to get the exact same score at the beginning. Now he's predicted to slightly beat me, even with two extra players out. He's got Lockie Ash and Lockie Whitfield, who both I don't have, who both he has out. So kind of a good thing I'm playing him in this round, but even not so much the fact that he still could beat me quite convincingly. I am a bit lucky though. He did have Holmes as his vice captain, who was on 100 at 3/4 time and managed only to go on and get 107. So at the moment before scaling, so that could have been a lot worse. And I think last time I checked, he had Grundy as his captain. Now, we might try the trick. Hopefully he's not watching. Whoever he captains, we will vice captain. And that way we'll get to have a look and see whether we want to take that score or not. It's kind of a little cheeky thing you can do if you're playing leagues. If your opponent already has had their vice captain play. Look who they've made their captain. Put your vice captain on that guy if you can, and then you can captain the guy after it. And if that means you kind of get 2 swings at beating his score. Yep, easy win. Easy win for you. Oh, easy win. Don't say that, Michael. Touch some wood. Quick, touch some wood. It's never an easy win. Lindsay it was kind of, I was kind of in 2 minds about Lindsay as well, trading him out. Keeping him is not terrible now if you have to, because he's not going to lose money. The reason we're all going to trade him out is because he was going to lose money. So if you need to hold him for a week, that could be fine. Chief, done his 4th hamstring tonight. Did a very good job on what's his face on Tom Stewart early for the first 3 quarters. So if you had Tom Stewart, you'd be pretty angry at him. What did he keep Stewart to at 68? For 3 quarters, did a very good job on him, stopping him being that free running and getting his intercept marks. So they're going to miss him quite a bit. And while we're here, might as well talk about it. The new kid, HHK or Hall Kahan, bit worried. He always smashed his face against Murray at the end. It looked like he had a broken nose. I was spewing because I was actually thinking about bringing in the other Collingwood rookie over him, and I'll explain a little bit why I was thinking about that in just a second. But he came back on, so that's really good, and he ended up getting a 72. So the reasons I like, and the reason I end up going with, HHK, I think Hall Kahan, or we're going to call him Kahan. I think HHK is too much for me. Or HK, maybe just call him HK, which from some movie I think stands for Hunter Killer, but maybe HK is the way to go. I love the fact that he has DPP. I like the fact that he is a defender, like a running defender type. The things that I didn't like about him, if we have a quick look at the injury list, I think Adelaide had potentially 4 people to come back next week, and he only got low time on ground. So I was very worried about his job security. I thought he might only play 1 week and get dropped, but it looks like they might have had a few injuries during this game just gone by. So maybe he holds his spot. But if we look at the injury list, so Isaac Cumming, that's who he came in for. He came in for an injury. Sid Draper, 1 week. He's potentially straight back in the team. Mitch Hinge, test. He's almost definitely, unless he might do a week in the VFL because he hasn't played for a while, but he could come straight back in. Rank, a calf, probably would come straight back in. And Riley Thilthorpe comes back round 14. So that's 4 people who come back into that Adelaide team. And I just worry that he's going to be the victim of one of those 4 people. So I don't love his job security, but he did very well. So hopefully with those other injuries they had this week, they had an injury to, don't know about Murray for next week, but I believe, Calamarchi was injured, and one of the others was injured as well. Butts is injured. So 2 defenders. So maybe he does keep his spot, which would be nice for us crew out there that bought him. Now, if you haven't already heard, the other rookie from Collingwood, the forward, Pod or something. I'm calling him the Pod. Pod, who's a Pod. Oops, that's not going to work. I'm going to try and have to put it in up here for Pod. This fella here, Mitch Podjahajiskiski, however you say that. That's not how you say it. We'll get Ralph Wiggum out for the first time today.
Me fail English? That's impossible.
Thank you, Ralph. So whatever is, Mitch is there. I like Mitch's job security a lot more, and I'll explain why. Because if we go to the injury list as well, 1, he's not coming in for an injured player. 2, Collingwood have got a pretty solid injury list in the way of not too many people. And he's come in for he came in for Jamie Elliott in the mid-season draft. He's gone out for the season. So he kind of is for an injury. But Jamie Elliott's not coming back. Will A's 3 to 4 weeks. Noah Howe's 4 to 5 weeks if they even play. Joel Cochran 1 to 2 weeks. Reef McManus season. Darcy Moore to be confirmed. Harry Perryman test and Oscar Steen season. So he's coming in as a forward that kicks goals, and he's been kicking quite a lot of goals in the lower leagues. I think he's got pretty good job security. If he can just snag a goal or 2 each game, I don't think Collingwood can actually drop him, especially because they haven't been playing very well. So if you're actually thinking about going both of those guys this week, I think you're probably okay to do so. And let's just hope the HK keeps his spot for next week. And we're yet to know. I mean, we'd really like it if that Joel guy played for Melbourne, who absolutely killed it in the VFL. He's definitely one to be interested in, but we won't know if he's playing to literally Sunday. I mean, we'll probably get extended lists on Saturday, but we won't know if he's on the bench, even if he plays until Sunday. So I didn't see anything on their team. Usually the way I find out whether they're playing is you go to the actual team page of which is where I found out about Collingwood, and quite often they will let you know about the debuts. And when I went to Melbourne's team page, they are debuting somebody else, I believe, not him, but another guy who was a mid-season draft a couple of years ago. So I got a feeling that maybe he's not, but maybe he will. We don't know. Corey, yep, that's the 4th hamstring for the year. Thank you for joining us, Corey and Michael, and anybody else out there. If you haven't already, please like the video. You might as well. We're still early. You haven't got sick of me just yet, so why not like the video? Collingwood rookie is a key forward. He is a key forward, Corey, but I think he's got very good job security because Collingwood need to kick goals. So I don't think he'll get a big score. So that's the other thing. I think HK is potentially a higher scorer, but I think the Collingwood rookie is going to play potentially, a lot of games if he just can kick some goals. If he can kick some goals like he has been in the VFL, he'll probably cement himself in that side because they need that. So as opposed to when I'm looking at what I just showed you guys with Adelaide, they get a lot of people coming back. So it worries me a little bit, but if I have to have a 0 sitting on the back line, at least he's got mid-defender status, which will help out a little bit. Huge on debut. He did well, Michael, but like I said, who do you drop when you bring back all those other 4 players? I think he's lucky that a couple of other Adelaide defenders got injured, which could keep him in the team. You can't tell me, though, if we go back and look at that list, you can't tell me that... well, Riley Thilthorpe's coming in, but he's a forward. Isaac Rankin's probably coming. Rank's probably coming straight back in. Mitch Hinge was one of their best defenders, so the only thing keeping him out is maybe a week in the VFL. And Sid Draper, all the raps on him, again, not a defender, but they're going to want to probably get him in the team at some point as well. So there's at least 3 instant ins I see here. And they did only have him as reduced time on bench, so I still think his didn't do his chances of staying in the team any harm tonight. But, those couple of injuries to Butts and Archie might really help him. But I like him. I hope he does. I really hope he does. I was a lot more worried before I saw the game today. And I was a lot more worried when I saw him smack his face against the... I thought broken nose. How long's a broken nose out for? Hey, Karen, how are you? 3 trades this week. Coleman, Broon and Scary out for Kahan, Anderson and Noble. Very nice, Karen. Hopefully they go very well for you. Noble's a bit of a pod, so that should be, hopefully if he kicks some backside, you will do very well. So yeah, that sounds really good to me. Don't forget to get your team in, crew. Don't forget to like, and don't forget to get your team into Discord if you want me to pop it up on the screen. So with my trades too, so getting Holmes and Rao in, this leaves me exactly enough money to go Brashenko down to a 99k rookie next week, whether there be that Joel guy or somebody else, or if I can work a way to get the key defender, to work it out. And I can go up from Marshall, as long as Marshall scores more than a 30, and God forbid he scores less than a 30. But if Marshall scores more than a 30, I can get Marshall up to Lockie Ash, which I was going to say is almost about as completed as my team can get for a while. But now McCluggage is out. So I've only got 9 trades now. If I do 2 more next week, that's 7 trades. That's a disaster. And to explain how big a disaster is, I talked to one of my friends like maybe we can pop his team up. One of my friends in my league, it's got a very good team, but not a bad team. He's doing okay. I Don't Know by Brad. We're chatting to him early on here. Can I just see your team straight up, Brad? He's got 17 trades and 2 boosts, and he's placed it at about 11 or 12,000. 17 trades and 2 boosts. He's in a very good position to win my league. I mean, got 9 trades and no boosts, and by next week I might have 7 trades. But I have to try and win these matches. No use, like I've said before, my overall score so far out. I'm trying to win my leagues, so I got to swing for the fences at the moment. I got to win as many of these matches coming up. Come out of the hopefully win, as many of these bye matches that I can. And I play him in round 16. And getting homes kind of hurts me a little bit. So I'm expecting a loss to him in round 16, especially once he spends a heap of those 17 trades and a million boosts that he's got. Hopefully I can win this week, but I think it's going to be a bit touch and go. If I could win 4 out of the 5, I'll be very happy. But I might actually end up winning 3 out of 5. But at least that'll keep me close to top 8 if we go to my leagues. I'm in 9th at the moment. If I lose, I'll potentially I'm in 8 now. But the worst I can go to is 9th this week. Unless it's on percentage. On percentage. Oh no, I can go a lot further actually. This is live scores. So I believe the 9th is the worst I can go down to. You kept McAndrew? Yeah, I kind of advised doing that, Corey, if you caught my video. I didn't see any point of getting one of the big boy rucks this week until you see, one, what's happening with them, and 2, both, you're going to want to see if Grundy's going to be playing dual ruck with McAdams, and you want to see if Sherry is going to get playing dual ruck and, more time on ground as well, and you want to see what Jackson's going on with Jackson, and they're all, because Jackson's going to high break even, and so does Sherry, so keeping McAndrew was very smart. I've always said you're a smart man. Maybe not to your face, but to your back. So yeah, good work, mate. And what did he end up scoring for you? 105. Yeah, very nice. Good planning. Good way. Good to play. Hinge could play wing too. The thing, Hinge is one of the reasons I didn't go Worrell or Malera either tonight, because he took most of the kick-ins last year. So we have to wait and see what's going on, Corey, with that. That's why him in the team, I think, makes a big difference to those Adelaide backmen. Like, if it wasn't for him, I might have gone for the cheaper guys instead of Holmes. Kind of glad I didn't. Better to get the best in, I guess. But, I think if you're thinking about getting those Adelaide defenders, or you did this week, I did warn that it's probably a watch and see for a few weeks to see what effect he does have on it. On my little list of things to remember to do next year is to make sure the people I get in that positions aren't going to be altered by other people coming back. Dan Curtin had a great game. He's only about 300. I might need a 300k guy. I might need a 300k guy for my midfield. So if only he could do that every week. And Dawson, I was so close to getting Dawson in AFL, in the other AFL fantasy. And I didn't, because I just couldn't quite afford him without getting rid of somebody else who I didn't want to get rid of, and he's gone and smacked to 132. So he taught me a lesson. And anybody who went home Dawson this week, very good pick. Well done, crew. He's a good player, and he's going to be very good for the rest of the season. Karen, Crows intend playing him. I read they would have had him in the team a month ago if he was on the list. Nose not broken, only stitches. Yeah, so I'm really good that you read that, Karen. It makes me very happy to hear that. I hope that's the case. So that I'm going to take you know more than me, because I don't know anything except for what I looked at those injury lists, and it scared me a little bit. But apparently he's really good. So he looked good. He did have. He only had 56% time on ground, and that was even before he smashed his nose. So hopefully that just means, because he's still learning the procedures and, the game style and stuff. Yeah, you don't want him to have only 56% of time on ground, but in the end, he's just a rookie, and he's kind of coverage. Any games he plays, if he plays through all the buys and provides us coverage and gets to 70s, we'll be doing the woohoos, I would say. Well, I certainly will be doing woohoos. So thanks for that intel, Karen. Thank you very much. Lancy, how are you? You're playing the game? I am playing the game. I do play the game. I have not played very well this year, not at all. And I'm just desperate to try and get in the finals of my leagues at the moment. And even that I might struggle to do. But I did have a look at my drafts. Like, it's not all doom and gloom. I'm doing quite well in most of my draft leagues. That's why, I don't know about you, crew. I got a bit of time on my hands a lot of the time. So I do play a few leagues. I do play a few drafts. And I play, the standard classic game. One's not going too well, at least you got something else to be excited about to the end of the year. If I win my drafts, that's cool too, and I'll be pretty happy with that. Obviously, my main league is the one I really like in fantasy with all my really good friends, that's the bragging rights at the barbecues and the parties at the end of the year. But if I can win a few draft leagues, at least that keeps me interested to the end of the year, right? Hey, Mass, how are you going? Your team still looks pretty awesome to me, mate. I've been checking and keeping an eye on it. Your Shorty's Tug Tour, I believe it's called. You traded Flanders, Rashenko, and Lombard to Petrarca, Jason Horn, Francis, and Kahan. 9 trades with 2 upgrades left. Team, yep, I remember your team. Yep, 163. Nice trades, mate. Again, I play bad. I'll put my hand up. When I play bad, I play pretty bad. I made some bad decisions this year, but I've been pretty unlucky too. I've copped most of the injuries, like a lot of us have, but other things like having a really good forward line with like Horn, Francis, and Petrarca and stuff before anybody else did, and then just injuries happen where other people are like, oh, I'll just get that guy. Oh, like Jason Horn, Francis. Not that I know that you definitely want him. He's been a bit of a nightmare until last week, but without what's his face, Flanders going down, he's probably a bit of a pod, but he's probably not much of a pod anymore. But good luck to you, Mass. Hopefully you've going to make a really good shot at it in the finals. Get into that really high top 50, top 20. Do you have an aim where you want to go, or you just want to get as high as you possibly can? Corey says, I got Dawson in AFL Fantasy. Your team is top 1.5K. My team is not that high, but I made a few mistakes early in the season, including mucking up my captain where I had like a captain score of like 80 or 90. So I'm in 40,000, but in most weeks, my round scores in the top 2,000. I got a very good team. I was too concentrated too much on Supercoach, and I missed a captain, and that was a brutal week. So we had a bit of brutality, but most weeks I do very well, and I have a very good team in that league, almost full primo. Hey, Chris Petrelli, any relation to the Eagles? Is that how? No, it's not spelt the same. Afternoon to you too. Traded McKenna, J-Mac for HK, Rao, 12Ks left. Team name Petro. We'll try and remind me when we get later on, and I'll try and get it up on the screen if you can put it in Discord, even better. Otherwise, we'll try and put it up on the screen. Corey says he has 9 trades left, but feel when I get the new ruck, might hold off trades, want to win your main league, never won it before. Yeah, so the problem with me is I don't even know if I'm going to make the finals. I'd like to hold off when I do my 2 trades next week to get Ash. So I go Petrenko down to, say, Joel Fitzgerald. Gets me enough money to go Marshall up to Ash. As long as Marshall scores 30 points. Please, Marshall, just score 30 points. If he doesn't score 30 points, I can't afford him, which I'll be very angry. I'll be very, very angry with Marshall if he doesn't just score 30 points. By some miracle, hopefully they will play him in the back line. I don't think that's going to happen, but he's named in the back line, but that's exactly what they did last week. They named him in the back line and played him up forward. Knowing it's the Eagles, he'll probably play forward and kick 10 goals and get a score of 50. That's knowing my luck. But Yeah, so Rashenko up, so down to Joel Fitzgerald, whether he plays or not, probably, and and then Marshall up to Ash, which means I'll have Sinclair, Holmes, Wilkie, Clark, Dacos, Ash, completed defence, Butters, Bont, Dacos, Rao, Walsh, Callahan, which is here. Then I was hoping to have McCluggage and one rookie on the field, Grundy, Gawn, Sheasel, Petrarca, Pickett, Horn-Francis, Philippou, Murdoch, and Jackson. And that way, I thought that hopefully McCluggage would do a little bit better, and I would have my best potential rookie, a midfield rookie, as my 23rd player, because I know I'm not going to be able to have 23 primos. So I'm going to have 22 primos and hopefully a Tom McCarthy of last year, which is the exact same position I was in last year. And you think I would have learned my lesson, but no. Seano needs a double dosing. It's not just one. If you see me with two black eyes, it's because someone had to tell me something twice, not just once. So hopefully, like a Kahan or a Joel Fitzgerald comes out and can averages an 80, and that way, so I'll be down to 7 trades, and I'll still have Hugh McCluggage, and that's going to hurt me. I might even have to trade. I won't even have that much money if he's out for multiple weeks. He was going to help me cover next week because I've got a lot of people out next week, and that's not going to happen probably anymore if it's a calf. Then he's got to buy. If it's a 3-week injury, maybe I just have to hold. It's not like I'm getting much for 400k anyway. Jason or Francis, or you can afford to keep the upgrade cadence going. Mass was $100 short of Wilkie. Oh, that's rough. I mean, don't get me wrong. If Jason Horne-Francis gets a bit of a roll on, he can go big. That's why I like him. Yes, he's been a bit of a stinker in my team, but he can smack out a 130. He just doesn't do it consistently. I mean, I'd probably prefer if he just got me 100 every week instead of 70 3 weeks in a row and then 120. But that's the good thing. I mean, I guess that's what you've given up, isn't it, Mash? You've given up Wilkie, who's probably going to score you around 100 minimum most weeks, against Jason Horne-Francis, where God knows what you're going to get. It's going to be a roll of the dice. But good luck, mate. I think he's still on your day. Like last week, I got a reasonable score, and it was because my forward line did okay. Or the week before, sorry. The week before, I got a decent score because my forward line did okay. Yeah. So, not too bad. But that's my plan crew with my team. Hopefully, you're going to have enough trades and enough money. Like, it's actually kind of amusing if we look at my team too. I've got 12,300 team value. It's gone backwards. I had 12,600k a few weeks ago. Your team value is not supposed to go backwards. That's not how it works. It's supposed to go up. It's not supposed to go down. That's not how you play Supercoach. Your team value is not supposed to go down. Yeah, so he was kind of a pod for me, Lanzi and Mass, but a lot of people are going to go. People who already have Petrarca and Sheasel and like Pickett's are probably going to go Jason Horne-Francis. I mean, I think there's only 2 you pick, right? Jason Horne-Francis or Tuke Miller if you need a forward, and he's the cheaper out of the 2, right? So I can understand why a lot of people are going to go there. And I think he has a higher ceiling, but a lower floor than Tuke Miller. So, I mean, I think you're getting what you're getting around what you pay for. So, not too bad. Not too bad. Team, yeah, see, Michael, your team's worth 13.1 million. You've got almost, 1.5 more primos worth of team value to me. Like, if I look at my players that I bought in and how much money they lost, it's ridiculous. Like, we could always count them down. Sinclair doesn't really count, but I think we paid about that for him, a little bit more maybe at preseason. Clark, we lost 70k. Dacos, we lost 100k. Bont, we've lost like 60k. Dacos, 100k. Walsh was lost about 50k. Grundy's probably going to lose. Gawn, we've lost about 100k. Where else have we got? Petrarca, maybe 40k. Pickett, 60k. That's not how you play Supercoach. That's not how you do it, my friends. Like, You do it the opposite way to that. Team value also going down, Lancey, even though gone up for every week for the last 2 months. You've gone one up, yeah. Gone one player up, yeah. My score, I keep complaining, I still haven't beaten my round 1 score yet, which seems like an impossible thing. Yeah, Corey, I didn't have Dersma or Cook or even Kitty Coleman, who got injured, made enough money to keep. And also I sold Lombard too early, and I sold somebody else too early as well. Missed out on probably 500k there, but my team was in a shambles from the beginning, which is my own fault. The idea was kind of correct. You go for premiums that are come down, to be decent value, but I made the mistake of going for fake primos that it came down in value. So, if Butters or a Bailey Smith or a Bont comes down in values and snap them up, yeah, that's a really good idea. If Walsh comes down, or somebody else, Jordan Clark went down, or Josh Dacos went down, I snapped them up and I thought, oh, they're a good value. No, they weren't, because they were fake primos. If I had to just saved up that extra 50k and got, Lockie Whitfield or whatever, I'd be a lot happier. Or if I have Bailey Smith Bailey Smith and whoever else in the midfield, I'd be a lot happier. And that's the same thing. Like, we've got Rao. Rao was an absolute godsend to me last year. The game has changed a little bit, which I think means his scoring is going to be a little bit more up and down. He can still go really good, but if I was picking a primo this week, the only reason I got him is because of the money. It allows me to get Ash next week with about anywhere between 400 and a couple of $1,000 spare in my bank account, depending on what dodgy score Marshall gets, because Marshall will probably lose money this week. And so, as we said, we just need Barrick for me. Pray for me, my friends. Marshall needs to get more than a 30. Otherwise, Seano's going to be very grumpy in our Monday video. Seano will be extremely grumpy. Actually, it'll be Tuesday this week because of the Monday game. But yeah, if Marshall scores like a 27, Sean's going to be a rant. You will see the best rant ever. Your value is 12.7 million, Corey. Yep. Infant Spirit, 13.3. Nice value, mate. Hey, Michael Rubenstein, how are you? Who would you captain out of Heaney, Butters, Grundy, Gawn, or Dacos? I mean, can you go past Heaney after what he's been doing? I'm probably going to, like I said, my opponent in my league has already vice captain Holmes. So he did have the captain on Grundy. Now I'm going to try and keep an eye on it. Hopefully he's not watching. And vice captain whoever he captains. And that's what I'm going to, I don't care who he does it. Unless he does something silly, like makes, Will Edwards his captain. I'm going to vice captain whoever he captains. And then I will try and probably captain Max Gawn is what I'm thinking. If I was you, I'd probably go Heaney into Gawn. That's what I would do. If I had Heaney, I'd probably go there. I don't mind Zach Butters, but I think he could get the Hoff tag. He still might score very well. Grundy, we have to see if Laddams is going to play, but if Laddams does play, I still might have a go at him anyway. And Dacos, I think Dacos is not a bad pick either. They have put attention into him before, though, but it's a big game. He's a big game player. If you said to me, do I want Dacos or Gawn? I'm taking Gawn. So since they play the same match, I'm probably saying Heaney or Butters into Gawn, and why not play the guy who's on fire? And do they put St Kilda put attention into Heaney? Well, you think they'd be stupid not to, right? You think they'd be stupid not to. So even, if Grundy was named as a solo ruck, maybe you could do the same as me, vice captain the 2 rucks. But none of the rucks have been smacking out those big scores, but Grundy just had a bit of a rest. Maybe as a solo ruck he can do it. And I think Gawn's only a big score around the corner. He's just warming up as a solo ruck. I think he's there's 150 around the corner sometime smooth. Smith failed tonight. What did he end up getting in the end? 106. I mean, it's not bad when you've got the primo and he scores 106 and you're like, he's failed. Like, I mean, it's not the end of the world. I've got primos like Walsh. Then when they fail, they score a 75 or, you know. So it's not the worst thing in the world. I mean, how much is that going to affect his break even for someone like me who might actually can't afford him but might actually want him? He's got 158 break even. What do we say scored? A 101? Was that 106? 106 ain't terrible. 106 ain't terrible. It's not what you pay up for, but you pay up. One of the things you're actually paying up for that high floor. If that's his floor, lucky you. I mean, he will go down 20k and then his break even next week will be 154 again. So maybe if you're lucky, you might be able to pick up Bailey Smith for under 600k in a couple of weeks. Maybe after his bye, if he scores these scores that predicts, say 106, say he gets a 99 next week. They really think he's going to get let's give him a 106 again. I don't think he's going to get a 99. You know, best case scenario, he gets another 106. Then he gets a 120. Then he has his bye. You could get him for about 570, 580 after his buys. But I think he's just as likely to go 150 next week. It's the same. Lots never went Tracy, which is the forward most overlooked this year. I'm still fine with not going Tracy. He's still a key forward. He's still going to be up and down. They're going to have streaks of where they score hundreds and big hundreds, and then they're going to get your 70s. Sparrow and Sanders, I'd prefer you go Sanders. Sparrow's been pretty consistent, but I don't think he has a massive ceiling. I don't think he's had any ceiling games. I think Sanders can have ceiling games. I do want to see what he looks like with Liberatore in the team. Landsey, you say Butters versus West Coast is juicy. They might play Hoff on him, but I think Port might be a little bit angry because West Coast beat them earlier on in the season after they absolutely pantsed us in the preseason. So I think they might come to play. So I think it's a reasonable pick. I think even on a bad day, I think Butters still destroys Hoff. So I think he's a decent pick. You know, I think he's very decent. The only, But then, you know, Heaney versus St Kilda. Do they go the tag as well? Do they, you know, are they still playing Windhager as a tag? But I think it's reasonable. Mate the Great, anyone notice how Worrell seems to do better when Ranker's not in the team? Or has low CBAs? Hadn't noticed that, buddy. But, I was tempted to get Worrell. I could have got Worrell this week and then afforded to go not Rao, but go one of these better guys. The guy, I could have gone if you're picking a midfielder this week, I like the others better. I like LDU. I like Noah Anderson. I liked Jordan Dawson. I liked all of those guys better than Rao. And but they were just too expensive for me. But if you've got the budget, you got the trades, you can't go Dawson anymore. But if you picked Rao and you could actually afford, and it doesn't affect you in the future getting Noah Anderson or LDU, I'd be going one of those guys instead. You'll pray for Marshall 31. Thanks, Corey. He only needs to get a 40. Like I did the sums. I'll show you the sums if you like. Seano, you know what happens when Seano gets the spreadsheet out? Where is he? Nerd! Where's the spreadsheet? Can you see it? So Rashenko out next week. We bring in Joel Fitzgerald from Melbourne. So I've got 81,900 in the bank. Gives me a profit of 194. So then Marshall, if he goes down to 234k, which is what he goes down to if he gets to 30, on top of Ash, gets me Ash with $700 in the bank. Just $700. That's if he gets a 30. So I think that might even be even less than a 30. What do we say? 234. 234 if we go to Marshall. Oh, no, if he gets a 30, that's 228. Then I can't afford him. 228? Ooh, that's bad. 35? 229. What do we need? So it's more than 30. We have to pray for more than 30. I thought it was only 30. He needs to get, basically, yeah, 234 he needs to be. He needs to be 234. Whoa, it's getting higher. 40. 231. Oh, no. I must have done my sons wrong. He needs to get about a 47. A 47? Oh, my God. I didn't realize it was that high. I thought it was less than that. But I do have a plan, crew. The plan is if that fails, we just get rid of McCluggage. We just get rid of McCluggage and we get do it that way. But yeah, he actually has to get, I didn't realize it was that, a 47. Oh, that could be close. Butters tagged by Hoff. Yeah, Michael. But does he do a good enough job to hold him? Butters can be tagged though. So I must have done my sums wrong, crew, because I was sure it was only a 30 is all he had to get. But he actually has to have to get a 47. That's going to be a problem. I think if he plays forward, that's going to be a problem. I'm going to be in two minds. West Coast versus the Eagles, I'll be going to be like, score a goal. Don't score a goal. Score a goal. Don't score a goal. Mash, you say your team value has been 13 to 13.1 million for 5 weeks straight. It's a good amount. It's not a bad amount. Dirksen, Perez, Henry, Edwards, easy doing nothing. Need the rookies to come. Well, don't forget these mid-season rookies, unless you've got a heap of trades, they're more making your money and hopefully giving you a bit of, they're more giving you coverage and making you money and to buy the next players. You're probably not going to be selling a lot of these mid-season rookies. This, for me anyway, I've got so few trades left that this guy, HK, is going to be in my team for the rest of the season, almost definitely. So you think of it that way too. The guys, if you've got 15 trades left, then maybe these guys are going to make you enough money and you're going to sell them and move on. But a lot of them are just going to be in your team until the end of the season. Windhager to Heaney, maybe, Michael. Windhager hasn't done much tagging though in the last, couple of months, has he? But I think if you're the coach and you see what happened last week, surely you do something about Heaney, right? Surely you do something. Smith was your VC, Michael. Yeah. All right. Who are you going to go as your captain now that that's kind of failed? Smith got tagged by Peatling. Did you see that fight they had where they ripped all his shirt and they ripped his his wrapping around his arm and everything? He looked like he was he looked like he'd been in a WWE contest or something. Yeah. Yeah. Bailey Williams, yes. I saw you, Mass. I have to admit, I saw you on another stream really pumping Bailey Williams, and I was like, oh, I don't know. I don't know. As an Eagles supporter, you can drop your shit score, and he dropped a shit score, and I felt bad. So I hope in the end you didn't go him, Mass. Beat the old Bailey Williams. Walsh should turn up again this week against the dismal Essendon. Walsh is one of those ones, right? He's always there and he's always around the ball. He just looks like getting 100. He doesn't hardly ever looks like getting, if he got 140, I'd fall off my chair and have a heart attack. He just never looks like going like 120 plus. He just looks like he's around, he gets the ball, but he just doesn't, he's not like someone who's super effective like a Bont or a Heaney. Last week, he missed, 2 goals? He missed a goal from straight in front when he was ran across the face, and then he missed another goal, and I was like, that could have been a 130 score last week. He could have had 2 goals, and he missed them both. Yeah, I was like screaming at the... Not as much as I was screaming at Lindsay, but I was screaming at Walsh last week. Can't wait for the rivalry next week, North versus Eagles. Can't wait to get revenge, Corey. Yes, North are going along well and the Eagles are going along okay. So it could be a good match, you know. I still think you guys are ahead of us in your, where you're at with your club, but we're doing quite well. And I think on our day, we can give, a run, some clubs, not all clubs. We're not going to give Sydney a run for their money, but we can give, the middle tier clubs a run for their money, but we can still lose by 100 points. I think if things start going the wrong way, Eagles can still lose by 100. No choice, Michael says. No chance. I like a little bit of rivalry in chat. The umps were atrocious tonight. Kumar, the umps were atrocious, were they? Bunch of flogs the Crows are, Kumar. Are you you're not a big Crows supporter? Crows umpiring was absolutely ridiculous. For every one call they got 10 bad calls. The crowd was feral. Peatley was all over Bass. You must be a Geelong supporter. Yeah, I did see that high tackle near the end. It did look like it could have been a high tackle. For 3 seconds, is that not called? I did see that text incident. It's very, I don't know if it's not obvious. I don't know if you'll get suspended either. It didn't look, unless they've got some different angles, it didn't look too bad, I'd say. It's a bit salty. Michael says the same thing. It's not, he didn't get the free because of the fight. He got the free because he annoyed him enough and then he dragged him down afterwards. So if your two players are running and you grab the player and you drag them down and they fall down, the umpire sees it, they're going to call a free kick every time. Doesn't matter who started it. That's what you do. That's what people be doing to like Harley Reid for 2 seasons. You get in their head, you piss them off, they do something stupid, and then you get a free kick against. So, I don't know who started it, but if you grab someone and drag them and they drop on the ground, you're pretty dumb, and you're going to get a free kick called against you. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's your fault or not your fault or whoever started it. So that was Bailey Smith's fault. He did something stupid. He got in a fight. I don't know who started the fight. He was being tagged, didn't like it, but when you grab their jumper and pull him on the ground, there's ain't nothing nobody can do about it. Umpire sees it, they're going to call it every day of the week. BJ was never going to score big in last week's conditions. Let's see how he goes against Port. Don't get me wrong, Bailey Williams has been awesome. He's been awesome. I just don't think he's a 100-plus Supercoach scorer every week awesome. I think he's a 70 most weeks and an occasional 100, but he's been awesome. He's definitely by far the best ruck we got. Thank you for the nerd, Tiger Matty. You want a nerd? I haven't seen you, Cat. Good to see you, mate. We'll give you a nerd just for hanging out with us. Nerd! Anyway, I think it's time we saw a few of your guys' teams up there on the screen. So let's go to the Discord. It's not too late to throw your team in Discord in the post your team here section, crew. This is our good friend Michael, not the Michael in chat. He's ranked 15,431. So let's see how he's going. Sinclair, Dale, Holmes, Whitfield, Roberts, and McDonald. What do you guys think about Roberts? I almost went Roberts this week instead of Holmes. He's come down in price. Do you guys see any reason? I looked at his stats. He's still getting 30 possessions every week, but he was getting 40 possessions almost when he was going really big. So does he just need 40 possessions to get a big score? Is that what the deal is with Roberts? Is there something else out there that anyone else can see why he's been a bit down the last couple of weeks? Like, it's hard to keep getting 40 possessions every single week, especially once Redmond's back in the team. Dirksen, will Dirksen get named this week? Who knows? Who knows? Edwards, you got Smith, Butters, Heaney, Bont, Merritt, Dacos, Sardis. I wish I had kept Sardis. Another trade that I made that I shouldn't have. Rashenko, very nice. Anderson, Ison, and Burton on the bench. He's not. Lots of the coverage. Looking good there. Gorn and Smith with the Grundy. Jackson in the flex, very nice. The old three big dudes. She's a Petrarca, Bolton, Pickett, Bailey, Banfield. We've still got Lombard and Marshall. So looking good, Michael. You could probably easily crack the top 10K. Not too many spots to fill now. You got McDonald in, obviously, this week. Not a big fan of the McDonald trade-in. I don't think he will last very long. I'd almost prefer that you would have got HK, Hunter Killer, or if you would get even... I'm still thinking that maybe in the next couple of weeks, whether he plays or not, maybe the injured Essendon rookie Artemis or whatever his name is, he's going to play it sooner or later, right? As long as he gets over his injury, he's going to be named as sooner or later. He's not on the injury list, but they say he had a calf issue, so he could play in the next couple of weeks, and I think once he plays, he should have pretty good job security. I mean, if you're Essendon, you should play it. And the same as I'm kind of hanging out. Hopefully Dyson Sharp comes next week. They say round 14 to 16. I wouldn't be surprised if they gave him another week off and then he's bye. But I think Dyson Sharp could be a good 23rd player for me. He was on 40 points when he got injured the other week. So hopefully that happens. Baby Ghost. I almost called you Baby Goat then for a second. All right. Lots of chat going on here. Kuma, game's over. It's done now. You don't get freeze for ripping someone's jersey. But yeah, it doesn't matter. He's tagging him. It's all over now. Who do you reckon leading the Eagles best and fairest? Jimby, probably. Probably Jimby, to be honest, Corey. It's just so solid back there. Undersized defender, holding back with all the other defenders are. He takes probably the top guy every week. He's undersized every week, and he just performs every week. I think it's almost has to be him. I think he's all... If you think he was in another team, he's all Australian. But because he's playing for the Eagles, I don't think he'll get it. But I think if he plays for another team, he's probably all Australian. And don't forget, this is only his fourth season. Season rank 22,737, 4,439 round 12 rank. Sinclair, Holmes, Whitfield, Roberts, Marshall, McDonald. With Coleman, probably have to do something with Coleman. He's going to be out for a while. And Dirksen, Smith, Butters, Heaney, Bont, LDU, Dacos, Rao. Got a nice stacked... he's got a full midfield when Callaghan comes back. So you completed midfield and the big dogs. You've got Heaney. I like this team. Where are you? 22,000, but you've got all the mids that I wish I had. You got the best... I would say you have the best midfield, except for maybe Callaghan. But Callaghan can put out these big scores. If I was going to right now pick a midfield, I'd just replace Rao with maybe his mate Noah Anderson, or maybe Ed Richards, and who I think after his bye will be very good. And that's the midfield I think you want to have. This is the midfield that's going to really push you towards higher ranks. While my midfield drops me ranks, your midfield's going to push you ranks. Grundy, Gawn, with McAndrew still on the bench. You still got McAndrew on the bench. Look at all the money you got. You're rolling in money. You're one of those, you got your bed with millions of dollars laying on you, like some rich drug dealer just rolling in money. Sheasel, Petrarca, Smith, Philippou, Murdoch, Lombard. Okay, so you're a bit light up in the forward line, but that's fine. It's the forward line. You don't have to worry too much. I think Smith could almost be a keeper in the forward line. If they keep playing him in the middle, he could be an 80 to a 105 or 110 player every week. Philippou will need to go. Murdoch's been really good. So I think you can keep Murdoch for a little while. Lombard will go at some stage. Your team is in a really good position. And you're going to need... Actually, you're going to need a bit in the back line here as well. So you got a gun... Your midfield's probably going to hold you over. Hopefully you got some trades, Baby Ghost, to update your back line and a few of these forwards. But I think the Smith, Philippou and Murdoch, and even the Lombard with his new role, should hold you off enough to upgrade these couple of back positions and then worry about the forward line later. You'll get some cheap dudes. You'll get some cheap dudes. Kuma, you're still on. You're still on it. Hope you're all well. We all hope that you're too well too, Tiger Matty. Okay. Where's Ralph? Where's Ralph?
Me fail English?
That's impossible. Don't forget to like, crew. If you're still watching now, we got 33 people watching. And how many likes do we have? 11. Not acceptable. Not acceptable, my good friends. Get out there and like. You only have to click a button. Yes, 33. Come on, do it now. Before we go on, click that like button now. Lanzy, you still here in chat, buddy? Holmes got a tackle, added up to 111. Your team's ranked 5 million? Oh, I must be 5 million and one, Tiger Matty. Just shows, mate. There's a lot of luck. You had such a good season last season, and this season has been a disaster for both you and me. And I had a good season last season too. So next year, mate, we'll be right up there. Starter Roberts been covering other spots, should back to normal this week. He did go to midfield for one spot, didn't he, Michael? Poor in the midfield due to injuries. Only for that one game, though, wasn't it, Michael and Lansy? He got pushed to the midfield for one game, but the last 3 games in a row, he's been a bit average, right? Or not? Because I looked him up because I wanted to know if I should get him over Holmes, and I looked him up, and I think it's he needs a lot of possessions. Like when he was scoring, where is he? Archie Roberts. When he was scoring the 120s plus, he was getting 40 possessions. So these been 3 weeks. He hasn't been in the midfield for 3 weeks. He only went in that 1 week. Correct me if I'm wrong. Let's have a look. Was that so? Here last week he was in the back line. He wasn't in the midfield last week. And the week before that, I think the week before that is where he went into the midfield. And the week before that, he was kind of behind the ball again. So he really only went into the midfield for this 85 game. These other 2 were 97, 93. That's the position he's been playing all season. But if you look down, here he had 40. This 151, he gets 42 possessions. This 140 here, he gets, what is this? This is 42 possessions. This one is 33 possessions. This one is 42 possessions. This one is 37 possessions. So he needs a lot of possessions to go big. Like, that's a massive amount. And a lot of marks, like 12 marks, 15 marks, 7 marks, 9 marks. The last 3 weeks, he's got 6, 7, and 2 marks, but he's still got 30 possessions, 33 possessions, and 31 possessions. And I was just wondering, are they using... Is he not the number, with Redmond back and some other people helping him out back there, is he no longer the main man that they're using everything for? Now he's got a little bit of help. He still seems to be the main man, but is he getting a little bit of help back there now? Thank you, Hoof-Hearted. Thank you so much, mate. Thank you for being here and thank you for those nice words. Hope all the guys are going well. Mass, Core, etc. Don't worry about your team, Sean. Another year. I'm not too worried. Like I say, I got my draft, I got my league, and I got you guys and girls. So, it keeps me occupied. It keeps me interested. It keeps me watching footy. I still love my Eagles are doing very well this year. I probably, if I have a choice whether the Eagles are going to do very well or if I do very well in fantasy, I'd probably choose the Eagles. Unless I'm going to win 50K, then the Eagles can they can come bottom again and get another first draft pick. Harsh but true. 25K rank, still a lot better than me, Tiger Matty. That means I'm in 10 millionth rank if you're at 25. So no way near your 200 from last year, but a bad year for Carnage and bad selections. Yeah, I'm the same. Hopefully we learn and get smarter and move on. We'll be doing Lanzy's team next. Injuries this year been a killer. Yeah, and I just got kicked in the short and curlies by or in the family jewels, as we say, with the Huma Kagij one. Just not that he wasn't doing very well before, but I had high hopes he might come back and get better. And now, just shoot me while I'm down. They thought they would. So here we go, Lanzy. You are ranked at 13,000. Nice rank, mate. Coming out of the buys, you could push for that top 5 or 2,000, or push for the top. Sinclair, Holmes, Whitfield, Roberts, Clark, and Houston. Dirksen and Oliver. Hopefully Houston has another decent round for you this week. Even though I sold him out, I still wish the best for you guys and girls out there who have him. Butters, Heaney, Bont, Merritt, Dacos, Callahan, Sarong, Anderson, with Scary, Burton, and HK. Very nice. You got the Grundy, Gorn, Sheasel, Petrarca, Rank. Hopefully Rank will be back next week, I think they said. And Pickett, Horn, Francis, Murdoch with Ice on the bench, Philippou, and Bamfield. Yep, looks very nice, mate. I think your team is really poised to take a shot at the pushing up the ranks after the buys. Just I shouldn't be giving you advice. You should be giving me advice. But I'd say just try and get some of those big dog midfielders we talk about, the Bailey Smiths. And I really like Ed Richards' crew. I'm saying that I reckon after the buys, Ed Richards is going to be a top 6 midfielder. That's a prediction. I'm standing by it. He was a bit injured, I think, early on in the season. Bont takes away the attention off him. I think, Ed Richards is going to explode. He's already started to explode, but I think he's going to be right up there, definitely in the top 8 mids, but I think he might even push for the top 6. Corey, yep, it's great. It is great that how the streams are going, the live streams. They were pretty quiet last year, and this year they're just blowing up, and it's all up. Really appreciate the support for everyone, because I wouldn't do it if it weren't for you, awesome guys and girls out there. And I loved you. These are my favorite. I don't mind doing the videos, and I enjoy it. Gives me something to do, and but obviously I like these live streams a lot better. So TO4W, this is Callie's team. I know I'm saying that wrong. Should we get out Ralph just because I know I'm saying it wrong?
Me fail English?
That's
impossible.
Did we get any more likes, crew? Should I check up on your 16 likes? A few more. Not as many as the 34 people watching, but a few more. And don't forget, if you're watching this in the future, you can still like. Cowie, last midfield spot will be Dawson. Well, pity you couldn't have got him this week because he had a pretty good game. Except he was the last quarter, he had a little bit of an issue. But then a flip of a coin with Rank, Sanders for F5. Yeah, I like Sanders too. I like Rank. I think they're both good. Rank, slightly injury prone. Sanders, does he lose his CBAs if Liberatore ever comes back? But Rank 1,172, a very nice rank. Very, very nice rank. Well done. Congratulations. Sinclair, Holmes, Whitfield, Blakey, Roberts, Clark. So only one fake primo there, which hopefully will change as the season goes on. Hopefully Will Edwards, who I've also got on my team, will score more than 19 this week. Not that it didn't tank his cash gen. Smith, Butters, Heaney, Bont, LDU, Dacos, Rowell, and Burton. Another really good-looking midfield. Another really, really dangerous, good-looking midfield. One that's going to, I think, it might not be the best midfield every week, but when you take that over a 10-week stretch, it's going to be right up there with one of the best midfields. Just get yourself, who else did you say you wanted? You want Dawson, nice, to fill it out. I think that's very good to fill it out. I think Dawson's going to be overlooked by a lot of people. So I think that is good. And you've got Grundy, Jackson, and Sherry, very nice. Sheasel, Petrarca, Pickett, Hall, Francis, Artie, Jones, and Bamfield with a couple of forward spots to fill out. And you said F5 is going to be either Sanders or you said Sanders or Rank. Nice. And then if you've got enough money in trades, you can potentially get one more, a 23rd player there. Whoever's looking, good value in that last position, maybe a Tuke Miller or something if you have the money for him in future. A 23rd primo, as they say. Jonas, 2 upgrades with 9 trades left. Callahan or Holmes next week, and we'll be waiting weeks for some rookies to make some money before I can make the last upgrade. Let's have a look. Oh, this is you. This is you. Where are you? You still here in chat? Smash, you still here with us in chat? Lansy said injuries are hurting him at the moment. Holding Sarong and Rank, move on Flanders to Heaney. Yep. Kumar says you're about 9.7k. Baz, Holmes, and Worrell this game, so that was good. But screw the game. Killed your vibe. Yeah, you don't sound like you're in a happy mood, mate. I hope you feel better. At the end, shit happens in football. I know it can be a bit, but no, it can be a pain. We all hate the umpires. Lansy says you think you're going to get Sherry next week. Lansy, since he has a nice run coming up, yep, and yeah, and he has a big break even, so he could make you some money. Discord, yes, join my Discord. We like to chat away in Discord. I'll try to get to anyone who messages me in Discord, and don't forget, if you put your team up there where it says post my team, we'll always put it up on the screen, and we'll just go as long as it takes to get all the teams up there, or I finish bullshitting. One of the two, which the second one could be a long time. So Mass, you got Sinclair, Whitfield, Blakey, Ash, Clark, HK, Perez, and Dirksen. Very nice. Midfield, you got Smith, Butters, Heaney, Bont, Dacos, Walsh, Steele, Sardis. Looks pretty solid. Anderson, Ison, and Banfield on the bench. Does anyone else like me think that Banfield just gets dropped this week? I hope he doesn't, but I got a bad feeling. I don't think Dirksen's going to get named, and I think Banfield's just going to get dropped. And I don't think Edwards can get dropped because, well, I don't think Essendon can do it, but I'm a little bit worried. A little bit worried about the Banfield, but we'll see what happens. Grundy, Gawn, Sheasel, Petrarca, Bailey Williams. You did go Bailey Williams. We did discuss it. Pickett, Horn Francis, Zach Bailey, and Luke Jackson. I hope it works out for you, mate, the Bailey Williams. As an Eagles supporter, I can't do it after so many years of watching him and just knowing that when he comes up against a really good ruck, he's not going to do that well. But God, he's been good so far this year. So I hope he keeps killing it, and I hope he does smack you 130s, 140s, and prove me really, really wrong. I hope he just destroys it for the rest of the season for you, buddy. And being as how highly you are ranked at 163, I think you'll be a nice little pod. I think if he can go big, a lot of other people might not go there, and I think that might give you a little bit of advantage, which when you're ranked at where you are, I think that's fine. Now you just got to fill out your I don't know what your plans are, Mass. What are your plans? You probably told me already, buddy, but so these are already your plans. You've brought in HHK. So next week, any plans? What you got plans for next week? You really want to try and get one more primo, right? Probably your defensive primo is probably more important, just because a Sardis or an Ison, even an Anderson can score. Like a Sardis could get you an 80 most weeks, which is what I'm hoping to find a midfielder who can do that. It could be my 23rd. So if Sardis is your 23rd, that's a pretty good 23rd. You just really want to find yourself if you could find I don't know, you got Ash and Whitfield. It'd be nice if you could find Holmes here, but he's coming up on his bye. Maybe just wait after his bye and then snap him up. Oh, I hope you're right, Corey. Corey says, I don't see Banfield drop with those players in. O'Connell, Hasty, Lake, and Dodson. Won't make it, I believe. You feel Banfield was playing all right on the wing and had to change second half to forward? Yeah, I hope so, mate. I hope he does. I mean, he's a Banfield. He comes from a absolute Western Australian Eagles legend. So I hope he stays in the team the whole season. Plus, he's in my Supercoach team, so I hope he stays there. Mass, 2 upgrades left with 9 trades. You have 2 upgrades to a full 23, but you've only really got to do 1 upgrade to get to a full primo. Like, I think when I say full primo, I'm thinking 22 players. The 23rd player is his score doesn't count unless it has to. So it's nice to have that fallback, especially when if there's a disaster or someone gets injured or someone has a bad game. But concentrate on making sure, especially if you're at a rank going for the top 50K or you want to get up as high as you can, Mass, concentrate on making sure those 22 are the best two you can get. Don't skimp and get two mediocre players. So don't get a mediocre mid defender, instead of a Max Holmes or something, just because you want to be able to afford two players. Because don't forget, 22 of the scores are the only ones that actually count in a normal round. So, if you've got 22 guns, if you've got 23 guns, but someone else has got 22 guns and their guns are better than your guns, they're still, they still can beat you in a league match, or they can still get a higher score than you. It's that's why, and especially if you're low on trades and stuff. Like we were lucky last year we had McCarthy. This year I think you're kind of lucky you've got Sardis. If they play Sardis in the middle, he's an 80 plus player who's going to hold you over. So if looking at your team, I'm trying to fill this position here. That HK, I want maybe get rid of Anderson when you can, move HK into the middle and get a primo guy here. The primo that you really want, the primo you think's going to do the best. Maybe it's Archie Roberts, maybe it's Max Holmes, maybe someone else. The beautiful thing is, one of the reasons I got Max Holmes this week, even though it's coming into his bye, which I don't really advise to people, unless you're very good on that bye. But if you move HK into the midfield, you're going to have that DPP, which is going to be very nice, which is one of the reasons, even though I wasn't super sold on HK's job security, his role and the fact he was DPP really made me want to do it. Karen, how are you, Karen? You're tossing up BC Heaney, Grundy into Gawn, but don't like the delay Monday, sometimes late outs, and all players will have played except Gawn. It feels too risky if your VC doesn't fire. I hadn't really thought too much of that about that, Karen, but yeah, it does. Also, you definitely want to keep the eyes on the team sheets to see if Laddams is named with Grundy. And then I think if Ladders was named, I might pivot just in case. I still think Grundy could score pretty well with Ladders in the team. I just want to see it. So I'd probably pivot if I saw that. But yeah, so what happened? Well, you could always go, if Gawn was a laid out, if they rested him, you could go Dacos. So you do have a bit of a backup option. So I don't know. I think unless Gawn injures himself, I'd hope that they just say they're going to manage and rest him and give us lots of time, or just give him. I'd hope they come out with the team sheets and just say so. But you're right. The fact that I don't understand why the team sheets don't get locked in till Saturday night, or till Sunday night. Surely they can lock the teams in on Saturday night instead of waiting to Sunday night before locking in the teams. The Sunday night teams are locked in on Friday, so why aren't the Monday night teams locked in on Saturday? I don't understand. But I understand your fear, Karen, but I would say still go with it. I still think Gawn as a solo ruck is a very good option. And if for some absolute disaster happens and he's a laid out, well, then I will go to Dacos. That's my plan. That is my plan. That's my plan, and I'm sticking to it. Matt's Banfield is safe. He had some nice balls and knock-ons, the type of stuff the coaches like, despite the lack of possessions. I like it. Corey, Phil Ryan, McRae, Taru, Banfield on the bench, stay, and one of the rest are in for the 5. Nice, I like it. Then go Dacos. Yep. Karen, yep, same. Tiger Matty's already ahead of me. We're thinking the same things, but he's just a little bit faster than I am. Oh, you don't have Dacos. Oh, you got no Collingwood players in your team. You could go Pickett if you had Pickett, but that'd be scary. Yeah. Maybe it's safer I don't know. It depends on whether you want to. Yeah, it's pretty much a worry. No Seagull in your team. You only have Gorn on Monday. Maybe if you're that worried about it, pick your vice captain a little bit earlier. Maybe vice captain if you've got Butters, vice captain Butters, or something like that. And then if he does really well, just take it. If he doesn't do well, go into Grundy. If Grundy is the solo ruck, and do it that way. And then if Grundy was a laid out or something, then your last resort would be Gorn. But I still think Butters is safe for 100 over. If you're really worried about it, yeah, I would do that then. Loop with White, Andrew. Not too sure what you're talking about, but I think Gorn, yeah, Tiger. I think Karen's worried that he'll get dropped or rested. If he gets rested, she's in big trouble. But I mean, like with Grundy, I would hope if they're going to rest him, they're going to give you a lot of, they're just going to come out and say we're going to rest Gorn this week. And versus Collingwood, I don't think they'll rest him. They want to win this game, and it's a big game, and it's the big freeze. We haven't kind of mentioned it, but best wishes to Neil Danaher's family out there. What a legend. And if you can afford to support the big freeze by buying a beanie or donating, please do that. It's a really good cause. And yeah, all the best to his family. What a legend. What an absolute legend on and off the football field. VC Shees, that's another option. You could VC Sheasel earlier on in the week. Gorn is minimum 110. I mean, Andrew, you could go massive. The problem is she's worried about him playing, not what score he's getting. I think Gorn's a minimum. I think Gorn can go 150 against Darcy Cameron, to be honest. But if he doesn't play, he doesn't play. Yeah, it's yeah. I don't think he'll be arrested. It's just if he got injured. There's no way they arrest him for this game. This is a big game. Melbourne want to win this game. It's on the big, not only is it's the the big freeze game. There's a lot. It's a Monday public holiday game. It's a big game. There's no way he gets rested. I think you're pretty safe, Karen, to be honest. The only issue you would have is if he got injured, in the warm up or something like that. But I think it's safe enough to put the VC on who you want, and then if it doesn't work, just go for it. I mean, it's not like you're pushing for the top 10 or something, or the 50K. So if all disasters happen and it was a disaster, I think it would catch a lot of people. But I think you're pretty safe, Garen. I think you're pretty safe. Corey, who do I think is the best captain for you? Sheasel, Neil versus Gold Coast, Sinclair, Blakey, Dacos. Have you already? Oh, because you've already vice captained Bailey Smith. I don't like Sinclair. I'm not picking anyone versus Sydney. Not even though the ball could spend a fair bit of time back there, I'm still not picking anyone versus Sydney. Sheasel versus Fremantle. I don't know. They could put work into Sheasel, to be honest. Lockie Neal. I don't mind Blakey. Dacos, Melbourne have put work into Dacos before. That's tricky, Corey. It's tricky. I don't want to say anyone in particular because I could just be totally wrong, but I think Dacos always plays on the big stage. He always does well. So maybe have a go at Dacos or Blakey, I think would be the two that I would go. Neil had a down week last week, so, no McCluggage in the team though, so he's still the main man. Maybe Neil, but I don't know. I think I would be Blakey or Dacos, man, if it was me. Did I miss? Have I still got teams to show? Did we get through? Mass, did we finish your team? I said we liked your team. Oh yeah, we talked about your last spot. Yep. We got who we got next? Michael, your team ranked 26,000. Still not too bad. Sinclair, Dale, Roberts, Houston, Dirksen and HK with Whitfield and Blamire. So, yep, Blamire's not playing this well. We don't think he's going to play, right? Smith, Butters, Bont, Dacos, Rao, Walsh, Anderson, Isom, Finn Callahan, Sarong. So once Sarong comes back, you'll almost have a completed midfield. Not too bad. Still got McAndrew, which got you a nice score this week. So you are on the shopping block for a ruck. Maybe are you checking out Sherry this week and maybe buying him next week, or waiting to see what happens with the other rucks? Gawn, McAndrew, White, Sheasel, Petrarca, Williams, Pickett, Murdoch, Jones, Jagger Smith. Wish I had kept Jagger Smith. He could have been my F6, but no, Seano had to sell him. Daniels and McHenry. He's another one that I sold way too cheap. The old Jagger Smith looks so good. Mass Demons VFL team. Casey plays Saturday 12:05 versus Collingwood. Can't see Heath coming in, especially versus a pretty average DCAM. JVR, Petty, more enough to relief work. Canterfield in for Jefferson. Yeah, so Canterfield is a mid-season draft guy from a few seasons back who's got the nod on the Melbourne website. I went there to see if Joel Fitzgerald said they're going to play him. So I got a feeling for those of us that hope that Joel Fitzgerald is going to get named, that he's not. Because Melbourne usually would come out and say, well, why would they come out and say they're going to play one of them and not say the other one? So I got a feeling Joel Fitzgerald is not going to be named this week. And that Kent guy, he's at the higher price of a 113 or something. So I wouldn't be going him. I'd be looking at him. In case Gawn has a late outer injury. Yeah, Karen, yep. I still think it's probably worth the risk. I would risk it. I'm a risky kind of guy, though. I like a bit of risky business. I would still probably risk it. Can't be as bad as your ZZ capped the score of 29 because you had no other option. Andrew, that's pretty rough. Don't mean to laugh, mate, but yeah, that's pretty rough. Around your current score ranked 3,699, never going to live with that down. Nah, it's pretty rough. Like, when shit happens, as they say. Yeah, that's a bit of a clanger. You can't do much about that. I mean, Dimmer does not tag. For which game? For which Dimmer? Bont has a bad record with Hawks. That's why, yeah, Corey, he does have a bad, and they might send McGuinness. McGuinness did a bit of job on him last time, so that's why I'm not going Bont too. So Bont will probably score 150, but he doesn't have a great record against the Hawks, and I think that's why a lot of us aren't going there. He'll probably prove us all wrong every time we doubt the Bont. But yeah, at 84, a 101, he got a 142, but that was like 2 years ago. So yeah, I'd be a little bit worried. Next week when he plays Adelaide, 141, 174, and a 119, I think he'll be in my captain, vice-captain options next week. That's for sure. You're going Butters into Gawn locked. I'm going Grundy into Gawn is what or actually I'm going whoever my opponent in my league. Whoever this guy. Nope. Whoever this guy captains, I'm going to make my vice-captain. Pito bread. Captain Grundy. So he's got his captain as Grundy at the moment. So I'm going to vice-captain Grundy just as like to have a look to see what he gets. That's my sneaky little league play. I don't care. Even if Laddams is named, I'll still be going Grundy because I want to have a look at it just in case. Pezza, how you going? Thoughts on Tom McCarthy over Jason or Francis or the other way around? I'm trying to decide West Coast have starts coming back. You know what? Pezza, you and me think it alike. I went on a few, I think I was on the Centre Bounce stream, and I'm like, I'm going to pick Tom McCarthy. He's had a great last 4 weeks. But you're right. Starcevich is coming back, but Starcevich is coming in. But I don't think they kind of play the same role, but we haven't seen him in the team yet. Like at the moment, McCarthy's being a bit of a kick-in hog. He's hogging the kick-ins. I think he took most of them last week. Lindsay is out, so I assume that means he takes more of the kick-ins. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. If we got any Brisbane supporters here, Starcevic is more of a bigger man up on a big kind of forward type of guy. He's not so much a rebounding, running type of guy. He's more of a intercept mark type of guy. Now, that could be completely wrong. But if I've got any Brisbane friends here, could you let me know? Last week, Tom McCarthy only took one actually last week, but we didn't have many kickouts last week. The week before he took 8. So he took the most, and the week before that. And the person who's been taking him with him is Lindsay, and Lindsay's out. So I'm thinking McCarthy is going to go gangbusters this week. But will he keep it up once Lindsay comes back? I'm not too sure. Actually, I guess we can have a look. What about if we do kick-ins for last year and we do Brisbane? Did Starcevic take any? I took some. He did take some. He's definitely not the main man with him, but he took some. So maybe he's more of a hangback defender than I think. Karen, you go VC on LDU, but not against Freo. Yeah, exactly. Freo got a lot of mids, and they'll probably put one of them to put some work into LDU. Maybe Track or Ando against Brisbane. Brisbane haven't been great. Dunkley will tag someone, you would think. Yep. You would think. Neil has been a bit quiet. Also have a go at him. Yeah. Kennerfield played some ruck minutes in pre-season versus North. That's interesting. Yeah, I know nothing about him, but that's interesting. You have Dale and Bont, Karen, but both score low against the Hawks. Yeah. Suns, damn it, Suns, yeah. Won't tag, saying Neil could be okay, captain, but probably not a huge score around 120. Yeah, he had a bad week last week. Starcevic would take Toby Green, etc. So he does play, he takes a dangerous small forward, or smallish forward, you're saying, Corey. Well, that's good. That means he's not going to be the run-off defender, which McCarthy will be. So, did we look at McCarthy's scores after all of that? So, 2026. So, his last 4 rounds have been very good. Like, he's averaging close to 100. So, I looked at this and I was like, ooh, I like this. So, let's go back down to round 6. 117, then he had a 76. But then he's gone 108, 107. Then he's got a 44. I don't know where that came from. Then a 117 and a 108. So, I mean, I'm thinking he just didn't have many possessions that game. I'm not too sure why. Time on ground. He had the high time on ground. He just didn't seem to get very much of it. But I think there are definitely better picks, defenders. But I think he'll be pretty steady. I think he can get you 100 or 110. I don't think he's going to get you 140s or 130s, but I think he's going to get you like a 75 on a bad day. We saw that 40. I think that 40 is out of the blue. As long as he's being a kick-in man, I think he'll get you probably 80, 75, 80 to 110 most weeks, which is not bad. He's not top of the line, but it's not bad. So I'm saying if you need him as a cheapo, it's probably okay, but I would much prefer you get an absolute gun in your defense. Like Jason Horne-Francis is a gun in the forward line. He's not a gun anywhere else. He's not a gun in the midfield. He's not a gun in the back line. He'll probably be a little bit more inconsistent than Tom McCarthy. But Tom McCarthy, at least he could score you a 130 or 140 in a game. And I think even though Tom McCarthy's capable of doing that, he probably is not going to do it very often. I'd prefer if you got a Holmes, an Ash, a Whitfield in these valuable defender spots. I've woken up. It took me a while to wake up, but you want the guys who are capable of going big. You don't want the Jordan Clarks and you don't want the Dacosses. Like in my dream, in Seano's wet dream of a defense line, he still has Sinclair. He still has Holmes. I still have Wilkie, but here would be either Whitfield or Ash, maybe Whitfield and Ash, both of these, and maybe a Nass or a Blakey or someone else can go 150 on a good day. I don't want someone who goes 105 on a good day, looking at you, Clark, or if they're lucky, 100 on a good day. I want someone who goes 130 or 140 on a good day in my back line. So a lockdown player, Corey. So I think, so if you do decide to go McCarthy, I think he's a reasonable pick. If he was my 23rd player, I would think it would be fine. Tiger Matty, trades this week were HK, LDU, and Rao. Yeah, I tried to get LDU. I tried to get another primo in, but I just couldn't do it by selling either a Philippou or a McCluggage, but I didn't have the money to do it. And get Sherry next week. Nice. You have heaps out in round 15. Your fave players on the buy. So I'd bring in McCarthy. Yeah, I think, like I said, I think it's an okay pick, but it's a bargain pick. And I don't know if I want bargains anymore at this time of the year. Like, I don't want to make the same mistakes I did earlier on by getting the Walshes and the Clarks and the Dacos. If I'm getting someone at a bargain, they have to be someone who's proven they're really good at a bargain. Like the Wilkie proved he was really good so far this year, at a bargain price. I don't think when I got Clark, he just hadn't proved it. And Dacos tricked me because he got 2 massive scores at the beginning of the season and I bought him and then he's never done it again since. But that was my fault for not doing the Dacos one's my fault. I didn't do the research. I didn't look at who was out of the team. Collingwood had nobody in the team. He did really well. They bring back all the defenders. He doesn't do well. It makes sense now, but I didn't do my research properly, and that's on me. Starstreet takes the best small forward, normally a bigger bodied small. Nice. Darren Phillips. I bought DeGoey and Sanders. Great man. Thank you, Darren. You're the great man. DeGoey and Sanders. I love Sanders. DeGoey, I mean, he had a good week last week, didn't he? I think it's in your forward line, I think it's fine. I think in your forward line, it's fine. Don't expect him to score what he scored last week every week. But, I mean, look at him. He's gone 110 and 73, 127, 98, 111, and 117. I mean, you can't dispute those numbers. I mean, yeah, cool. As a forward, that's brilliant. If he could continue on the last 5-round average, what is that? 5-round average, is it going to... I can't see without going into the player things, but that's going to be pretty good. I think it'd give you a 3-round average though, won't it? 5-round average, 105. You'll take that from your forward every day of the week. That probably makes him a top 6 forward. So why not jump on it? The only problem with that is you got buy next week. Do you have to get him? What's his break even? $1 million, is it? Yeah, his break even is $1 million. So I see why you're getting him this week. So hopefully your buy's okay next week, Darren. Do we have any more teams to go through? There's your trades, buddy. Lindsay, Flanders, HK, and Rao. Nice. AG03, rank 3,699 with 11 trades. Sinclair, Blakey, Worrell, Wilkie, Perez, Dirksen. You got Ash and Oliver. Nice. Smith, Butters, Bont, LDU, Holmes. Holmes can move in the back line. Nice. Neil, Dacos, Walsh. So you've either got a completed midfield or a completed defence. That's nice. Holmes, wherever you want to use Holmes, that's pretty good. Obviously, next week, if possible, I don't know if you've already got HK, but if you haven't, I'd be getting him next week and I'd be swinging Holmes into the defence. Then you've got like a completed defence with Ash and Holmes. And then you can put on Redchenko, which might be a better rookie. Potentially get him up. You got Jackson, Gorn, Jackson. Oh, you've got Sardis as well. That's nice as a 23rd. Sheasel, Petrarca, Miller, Pickett, Reed, and Murdoch. Very nice. Very nice. Where'd you say you were? Ranked 3,600. That could be a top 1,000 team, mate. You could be in the top 1,000. No problems at all with that team. Well done. Good luck for the rest of the season. Petrol. Yeah, Petrol. Sinclair, what are you at? Season rank 4. Well, we got a big gun. Petro, are you here in chat? We got a big gun in. We got a big guns team here. I assume it has, because it would have came in during the stream. Speaking of which, just for Petro's team, if you haven't already liked, come on, like. Look at this. You're getting to see a top 4 team here. Still only 19 people and 25 watching. Come on, guys. Like it. Like it. Look at him. You got a season rank number 4. This guy could be a number 1. Yeah, Chris, this is you. Wow. Very well done, mate. I'm barracking for you. I love it when my people the crew here in chat do very well. And obviously you're a Discord member as well now. I really hope you win the 50K, mate. What are your plans for next week? Let's have a look at your team now. What are your plans for next week? And how many trades have you got? How much money and how many trades have you got, buddy? I'd be super interested if you don't mind telling us. Sinclair, Dale, Holmes, Whitfield, Roberts, Clark. So you've got a completed back line with 1 fraud. Smith, Butters, Heaney, Bont, LDU, Merritt, Dacos, Rao. You've got a completed midfield with pretty much all the big dogs. Rashenko, Anderson, Ison. You got nice coverage. Grundy, Gorn. You've got Jackson. So completed ruck and completed Flexton. You've got Sheasel, McKercher, Philippou, Murdoch, Banfield, Alga, Draper, who could play next week, and White. So you've played how you're supposed to play, stack the defence, the midfield, the ruck line, and work out the forwards later, which is the opposite of what I'm doing. Now, there is a chance that McKercher has got his defensive rollback, which would be awesome for you. So I hope that happens. You're probably going to have to do something about Philippou. And then, so you really need one more absolute gun to get your 22 guns. So, and then you've got a very good chance. Don't worry about your back line. Don't worry about your midfield. Just worry about getting a player that can get you a decent score in for one of these spots. And you're going to be in a very, very good position to win that 50K. Carlton are 4 wins and 8 losses. Essendon by GWS looking at 8 and 8 mass. Okay. Missing Petrelli in your forward line. Nobody wants that, Andrew. As an Eagles supporter, nobody wants that. You've got $120 in the bank with 12 trades left. All right, so you don't have much money in the bank. Or 120K, I hope that is. Do you mean $120 or 120K? It's a big difference. So, but, yes. Well, I think if I'm you, I just want to get one more potential in this spot. I want a 120K. Okay, we can work with 120K, Chris. $120 is going to be a bit rough, but we can work with 120K. Now, you're obviously doing a lot better than I am, so you don't listen to me. Do what you think is right. But 120K, maybe next week, if this was my team, I'd be getting a 99K rookie for Anderson, who's not going to be playing anyway, and he might make you a little bit of money this week, maybe. So then you make another 100, and I expect I was looking and doing something similar on my team. Anderson might make about 5K this week if he gets like a 60 or something. So you would have another 145K on top of your 120. So what's that? You'll have 260. Can you afford anyone for 260? Banfield, and you've got how many trades? 12 trades. You might have to go. Yeah, the only way I see you get that done is if you could go down and then get Rashenko up to like a Tuke Miller or a JFK or something like that and swap him with Draper and have him in the midfield. Yeah, you got options. Go Anderson down to or Rashenko down to a 99K, dump that money on top of whoever the other guy is, and then get one of the, if you could afford, I mean, in an ideal world, will that get you Petrarca? if you could get Petrarca, that's what you want. But if you can't get Petrarca, you might have to go somebody else. Tell them absolutely nothing, Chris. Yeah, well, I don't think any of the top 3 are watching my streams, Chris, but if you want to keep your plans to yourself, that's fine. I totally understand at this point of the game. So if you like, you can just listen to what I would do if this was my team, and you go and do whatever you were going to do, because obviously you're doing much better than I. So, but thank you so much for showing us your team, mate. It's nice to have someone with a really good chance of winning the 50K. And if you live in Perth, I'm available for a beer if you win. We ain't catching him, Tiger Money. Let's hope top 100 ain't here if he does say anything. Yeah. You made 60K in business in the last 2 weeks. Stable secrets. In business in the last 2 weeks. Stable secrets. Yeah, tell me your secrets, mate. 60K, Matty, Private message in the Discord. I think Track is better than Took, Chris. He just has the better role. He has an inside midfielder role, and he's an inside midfielder that scores goals. I think on a good day, Miller gets a 120 on a 30. On a really good day, he scores a couple of goals and gets 20 possessions. I think Track can get 30 possessions and 2 goals and score a 150. Like, we saw what he did the beginning of the season. Yes, Rao wasn't in the side, but I just think he has got the higher ceiling. So I think he's better. Can I hold your beer? Do we have any? I should have a celebration thing, but yeah. So if you can afford to get Track somehow, I'd 100% getting Track. Shine the shoes, yeah. And then you're set, mate. And then you won the 23rd player, and like I said, you're going to be in a bit of a decision, which I don't know which way I would go, where if you're just going to go for it, you get the best 22, and you say, you're happy to have HK in, not your flex, you can't, but as your 23rd player, yeah, you know what I mean, on the field here, or whoever it might be, maybe that Joel. I mean, we're all praying that Joel Fitzgerald for Melbourne plays, right? And he plays really well, and his form from the VFL comes over to the to AFL, and he scores, 20 possessions a game. Doesn't have to get 30 in a million, but he gets 20 to 25 possessions a game, gets to like a 70 or an 80 every week. That's my wet dream pretty much at the moment when it comes to my 23rd player. But your big decision is going to be, do you get rid of your fake primos like Clark instead of getting a 23rd decent primo? It's going to be a decision that you're going to have to make, and I'm not going to tell you which way to go, but yeah, it's going to be something you're going to have to decide whether you want to go 22, and then, so if you get Track and get a Took Miller and get a Jason or Francis, something like that, or do you go, screw that, I want to get rid of Clark and get someone who can get me a 150 on any day, like an Ash or a Nas or something like that? That's going to be a decision that you're going to have to make in the next, few weeks. You said you got 12 trades left, so I'd be thinking about that if I was you. That's what I'd be thinking about. I'd also be keeping a very sneaky eye on the teams above you and what players they have that maybe you don't, and vice versa, what players you have that they don't. So if the top 3 teams if they've all got, Took Miller in their team, well, then I'd pick Jason or Francis. If they've all got Jason or Francis, I'd pick Took Miller. If or, Zach Bailey. If some of them have got Zach Bailey, you pick. If they don't have Zach Bailey, you pick Zach Bailey. Like, you know what I mean? So you want, at this time, you kind of want to be in the forward line. I think it's fine to be a little bit potty. It's fine to be a little bit potty. Murdoch is a keeper. I think in your forward line, I think you got to worry. Potentially Phillip, Murdoch, maybe McKercher are all not keepers, but you want to upgrade your team around them first. Like Phillipou's probably the one I worry about the most. When NASA's back this week and I see Phillipou's time on, maybe his time on ground, but maybe and his CBA is just going out the window. So I really feel like Philippou is a 60, 70, on a good day, he gets you 70 or 80. On a miracle day, he gets you 80 to 100. And he has to kick goals to get these scores. So I'd be more worried about Philippou than Murdoch. I think Murdoch finds more of the ball than Philippou. Plus he kicks goals, but, I think more often. If I was going to get, upgrade someone first personally, I'd be getting rid of Philippou. But I think firstly, you just got to leave Philippou and Murdoch there, I would think, and get a Primo, get a Petrarca or somebody here. And then you've got that other decision. Do you just leave this spot as a, hopefully Sid Draper comes back and plays very well. Hopefully. It's the only problem with you've got your flex locked up. You've got the 3 rucks, which is obviously working for you, but it'd be so nice just to have that position available, but you've got to give up your score to do it. Can target Zorko at flex. Yeah, as your 23rd. I think that's reasonable. I think that's reasonable if you get to that spot. Obviously your flex is taken. Oh, this is for Chris. He can't target Zorko at flex because his flex is taken. And that's what I was just saying, that you could do those type of things if you had your flex available. But obviously the high power scoring has got you where you are. So your flex is basically at the moment, your flex is your F6. Yeah. So I think, and you don't want to trade out any of these guys. The only one out of this defense line that you might want to trade out is Clark. But again, I think you probably worry more about Philippou than you would Clark. The only issue is whoever you get for Philippou, can he outscore the person that you would go from Clark is the question. That's what I'm asking myself at the moment. But since you're in such a high position, I think you got some decisions to make, but well done. All the best, like I said, I hope you really win the 50K. I think you've got the team to do it. I think you just need to, it's going to be a little bit of luck, but at the same time, do your research. Now's the time in your position to really study those teams above you and really, really be sold on the picks that you want, and don't let people like me or other content creators sway you. You've obviously got where you're now through very smart and good decisions. So do what you feel is right. Follow your gut and do what you feel is right. You're cleaning shoes and holding the beers, Tiger Matty? Yep. Karen? You wanted Zorko, but he is out till around 18, 19. Who knows how? Yeah, I was all keen on Zorko too until this is another injury. And, maybe even if he comes back, maybe they rest him if they make the finals. I think I'm off Zorko now. I was on him. I think I'm off him. Once again, Chris, thank you so much for showing us your team, buddy. I think that that just shows, to me, that shows how we should be playing Supercoach and how I played in previous years and how I didn't play this year. And I think my overall rank reflects that. You can get cheaper guys in the forward line because they don't get you the big scores. So you can go cheap and dodgy and, bargain basement in the forward line. especially with a lot of DPP, which is very handy. You want to stack your defense and your midfield as early as possible, and because they're the guys when, two 150s are a lot better than two 80s. If you've got Jason Horn-Francis, you like me, you got Jason Horn-Francis, and you got, let's say you got Colby McKirch as well, and they both score you say they both score you 90, and you're like, wow, that's not bad. That's okay. Get you 180. Well, you got two gun midfielders that score you on a really good week. They both score 150. They get you 300. That's how you move up in Supercoach. So well done, Chris, and yeah, very much good luck. We still got more? Oh, okay. I thought we were at the bottom of the chat, but we're not. Yep, Tiger Matty says, well done. Cheers, guys, for the support. You're welcome, mate. Keep up the good work. Yes, I'm from WA, Chris. Yep. Same. If any of you crew ever come over to Perth and you want to catch up and you're in my Discord, drop me a line, Actually, I have to admit, I don't go out for beers very often, but we can catch up for a coffee and a chat if you like. Pezza, have a great night. You have a great night too. You think you decided on McCarthy as your D6 and then Whitfield in round 16? Nice. Yep, like I said, go with your gut if you like it. And like I said, I was very close to doing it, so I think it's not terrible. Like I said, I don't think he has the massive ceiling, but he could do. If Lindsay stays out and he becomes the absolute pig kick-in merchant, I think he can. What did he do last year when he was the kick-in? So let's have a look at him last year when he was the absolute kick-in pig. 6, 7, 5. 96, 80, 77. Okay. Not as big as I thought. This 123, he only had 2 kick-ins. He had 4 kick-ins. This game he had 10 kick-ins. He got 133. The first game he ever played. That's pretty sweet. You come into the AFL, the first game you ever play, you get 10 kick-ins and score 133 Supercoach points. That's pretty sweet. Yeah, if he could emulate those type of games, he would be a pick at his price. He would be a pick. And I don't really think they need him in the, I think the Eagles midfield at the moment is pretty set. They don't need him there. They've got Yo. They've got, if we look at CBAs for West Coast, they got Yo, they got Kelly. Who else have they got running through there at the moment? Nope, that's not what I wanted. I wanted CBAs. I don't think they 100% need him in there. They got Reed, obviously. They got Kelly. They got Yo. They're the big three. They got Dersma. I think I like Dersma in there. Very clean with the ball. And then, McCarthy. Yep, McCarthy hasn't had any time in the last few things. They got Hoff doing some tagging jobs. And then maybe one of these new guys that comes in, one of these, if they need a Dev Robertson replacement, maybe one of these new, hopefully, mid-season guys comes in for the Eagles and plays. Could be it. Zorko could be D7. I love the guy. I love the fact that you guys are going to be in the opportunity to have a D7 worth 400k. Seano's going to be happy to have a 23rd player worth 400k. But how much is Zorko going to be worth? Honestly, if my 23rd player is anywhere near how good Zorko is, I'm going to be a happy man. The way injuries are happening at the moment, I'm going to be lucky to have 22 players. He's got a break even of, he's only got a break even of 89 and he's at 450. So when he comes back in, he'll probably get his break even. He's had a pretty good season though when he has played. 131, 102, 96, 111, injury game, 108, 86. His lowest score is 86. But he's 450 though, and so he's probably not going to go below 450. So if you guys can afford 450 for your 24th player or your my hat's off to you. I tip my hat. Yeah, from what I hear, they both did very well, Karen, in the waffle. Herbert was. They said he was close to best on field in when they played the waffle, the West Coast waffle last week. So the only thing I think hurts them is the Eagles are a little bit better this year, and so they don't need to come straight in just because the team's not doing too bad. But I do think as we look from those CBAs, we could do with another midfielder. I do think McCarthy is better in that back line. With Lindsay out, he's definitely going to be the man back there. I think he's definitely our next best option. You don't want Marek back there. Marek is a much better winger. We saw he got big scores, but he butchered it a little bit last year, Marek, when he went back to being the kick out distributor. So who did they bring in? Out of interest, who did they bring in? They brought in Cooper Duff, Tyler, and Starshevich. Okay. Lindsay and Williams went out. A forward and a back went out. Oh, okay, and a forward and a back came in. All right, that seems fair. He's named straight on the field in the back pocket. Okay, Starshevich, fine. And Cooper Duff is named as a full forward again. Makes sense. I'd like to see Cooper Duff have another, even though I've traded him out. Actually, I would bet a bottom dollar that Cooper Duff Tyler, if I was a betting man, and sometimes I am, but if I was, Cooper Duff Tyler scores at least 2 goals this week. That's because I traded him out last week. He'll stick it to me. Hoff, Marek, Johnson, Tom Colrett, Bazzo. Who are they naming on the wings? They're naming Davis. They're running Davis a little bit through the midfield too, and Bo Allen on the wings. Yep, reasonable. All right, Maddie, you do very well. A few runners at Flemington, and you into your horses, are you, mate? My dad's into his horses. So all the best, and all the best for the week, mate. Good night. How many trades should we have left? No, knowing team dependent. All right, yeah. So it's very much about what Darren. So this is all right. So this is something I do believe that I know something about. So if you haven't already liked, this is the time to like, because Seano might actually say something which isn't complete dribble and BS. It depends on what you're playing for. If you're like our man there, Chris, who is in 4th position, you burn your trades to get the best team, and you leave you leave maybe 4 or 5 for injuries, and you just hope that everything works okay, and that's your best opportunity to win the 50K, or to finish, if your ambition is to finish as high as possible, to finish in the top 1,000 or the top 100. It's okay to burn your trades, because that's what you want. It doesn't matter if you run out of trades and, in the end, if there's 5 injuries and you've got 5 trades, or if there's 6 injuries and you've got 4 trades and you lose it, so you went for the top 100, but at least you went for it, right? Whereas if you're more like me and you're going for your legs, you want more. Now, I am absolutely crapping bricks with only 9 trades. I would like 9 trades when I come out of the buys, not when I'm after the first week. Now, these last 2 seasons, I've been hanging out with all you amazing guys and girls out there, and I think it's got me a little bit of trade happy. And I've been watching a lot more content creators, and almost none of them play for leagues as much as I do. And even though I would love to win the 50K, and I would love to put up a really, low overall score, so all you guys and girls out there say, hey, look, Sean's got a decent score. Isn't he good at Supercoach? Maybe we should like him. Maybe we should like his videos and, and listen to what he has to say. But the fact of the game is, once I get outside, I want to finish in the top 10%. So that year will be the top 18,000. Now, that's not going to happen for me this year, and I know it. And so be it. But soon as I don't realize I'm going to win the 50K, I want to win my league. I want to win my league. That's more important to me than, so if I'm ranked at 60,000 now, winning my league is more important than me than finishing in top 20,000 now. A lot more important. I couldn't care less unless if I was going to finish in the top 1,000, well then maybe we start looking at that. But I'm not. I want to win my league, and so most years that happens. If you're going to finish in the top 1,000 or so, you need to have a very good year. You need to get a bit lucky. You need to make some really good decisions, and you need to miss, like I said, a bit lucky, miss some injuries and stuff that other people get, and make some good picks that maybe other people don't call. So don't think about. So if you're going for your leagues, you definitely want more trades. And if you were here earlier, you might have heard me talk about my friend Brad, who he has 17 trades and 2 boosts. And at the moment, and he's got a reasonable team. Where's his team? Where are you, Brad? Let's look at the leagues because we can actually see your team. I hope you don't mind. I'm pretty sure you won't mind me showing your team on screen. So this is Brad's team. Ranked 10,213. A very good rank. Like much better. 50,000 places better than me. Yet he's got 17 trades. Like I assume that's before this week. So even if he makes 3 this week, he's still got 14 trades and 2 boosts. Like, and look at his team. His team, Sinclair, Holmes, Whitfield, Clark, Houston. I wouldn't be surprised if Lindsay's gone here and then this week. He's a smart man. I'm pretty sure HK's coming in for one of these players. Bont, Dacos, Dersma. He's still got Dersma, like making him lots of money. Like, if anything, if he had played a little bit more aggressive, his rank could be much higher. But I think he is a bit like me where the league means more. And once you realize you're not going to win the 50K, the league means more. And if the league means more, you want trades. More trades, the better. I used to always say when I came out of the buys, I wanted 8 trades. Now, you'll see other content creators tell you 4 trades is enough. 5 trades is, okay. That's fine if you're going for overall rank. If you're going for overall rank and you come out of the buys and you've got 4 or 5 trades, you're probably going to run out. Let me just tell you now, you're probably going to get injured. There are always injuries. The season's halfway gone. How many injuries have we had in the first half of the season? I reckon I've done 10 trades on injuries. And you're going to come out of the buys with only 5 trades. So you're more than likely going to run out. So, but that's fine. Because if you run out, you run out, right? Unlike our friend there who's in 4th position. Now, he wants to get his team full primo as soon as possible. But at the same time, if I'm him, I want probably 6 trades coming out of the buys, if that's my team at full primo. And then like I said, I'd be wanting to decide whether I want 22 guns and a Tom McCarthy type, or if I want 22 guns or 23 guns and less trades. Because I watched the videos of pre-season where they had all the past winners on the Sword Play channel. If you're not already subscribed to the Sword Play channel, they do some great work, and they had all the past winners on for about the last 4 or 5 years. They all had trades going into the last, few rounds, and that was the difference between them. A lot of times winning Supercoach and not winning. So a lot I'm just trying to say, I've been crapping on for a while now, but it depends on what you're playing for. If you're playing for overall rank, burn them. Burn them. If you're playing for overall rank, but you're close to the 50K, burn them, but make sure you keep a couple for those last couple of rounds. And if you're playing for leagues like me, save them. Don't have to save them all. Save them to a point too. Like, at the moment, I'm burning through mine, but that's because I'm afraid I'm not going to make my top 8 in my league. And if I don't make the top 8, I don't care. If you finish in the bottom 8, they do that league playoff in the bottom 8. I call that king of the losers. If you win that, you're the king of the losers. So what is the if you're not first, you're last? The old shake and bake from I don't know if I still got that video. I used to have the the movie Talladega Nights where he's on fire. I used to have that video where he's like, "I'm on fire." Pretty funny. I'll see if I can find it for you guys at another stage. But I haven't had much to say that my team's on fire this year. But yeah, so if we're looking at Brad's team here, he's still got Dersma, who's doing fine. McCluggage, this is probably with 17 trades, is a beautiful time just to get rid of McCluggage for him. He's still got Rashenko coming, Anderson, Ison. He's got Butters and Anderson. He kept Anderson and didn't trade him like I did. Grundy, Gorn, Sheasel, Petrarca, Flanders, Pickett, Philippou, and Bamfield. And I can't see who he's got in his Milan Murdoch in his flex. So, his forward line's fine. Bamfield on the bench, like Milan Murdoch down there. He's got a bit to upgrade, but his overall rank's at 10,000, so he's got a good overall rank anyway. So he doesn't have to worry about that. He's not going to finish first, but he's not going to have a bad, potentially with his 17 trades, he could push to be close to the top couple of thousand. But what he can really do is he can smash people like me later on in the season when he's got trades and I don't. And I play him in round 16 of my leagues, and I am scared. I'm scared. I'm so scared that I pretty much penciled this down in a loss, and it's the reason I got Max Holmes this week. I looked at his team. We have the same amount of players out before I got Max Holmes in this round, in the round we play each other, in round 16. And I'm like, screw it, I'm going to lose anyway. I'm just going to get Max Holmes, which is exactly what I did. You got 11 left with 5 primos to make. Yeah, so whereas you're like me, I hate to say it, but you're kind of screwed. So what do you want to do? Do you care about your leagues? Whereas, because if you don't care about your leagues, you might as well just spend them. You might as well just spend them, get the best team you can, and then pray for no injuries. My personal plan is I will be spending 2 next week, minimum of 2. If there's 2 99K rookies like Joel Fitzgerald and the 99K Collingwood guy gets a second game, I could potentially make 3 trades next week. That'll take me down to 6 trades. It'll give me not a completed team. My completed team will be saying that Philippou is a premium, which he's not, hoping that Murdoch plays as a premium, and I will be having one rookie here, which is a Sharp or someone, which in theory will be my 23rd player or my flex, but, it probably won't. So that's if McCluggage comes back. So that's 7. And if I have to get rid of McCluggage and get somebody else, I'll have to go down again. So if I did 3 next week, that gets me about 100K in the bank. Then at some point, I would have to go down 99K again, maybe, or down again, and then McCluggage up to like a 550K player. And then that would leave me, so what's that, 7? I would have 5. And that 5 trades I'm keeping until basically the last 5 rounds of the season, or we have injuries. And then if I win, I win, and if I don't, I don't. If I make the finals, I'll make the finals, and if I don't, I don't. And the likelihood is I'm not going to make my finals or get a decent score. So, but that's you're sitting at 14K, and what do you want? Whereas you want to finish as high as possible, because if you want to finish as high as possible, probably go for league wins, then start saving trades. So you got 11. 5 primos to make. And where are you in your leagues? Are you in the top 8? Are you in the comfortably top 8 of your leagues? So if you look at me, I have to risk it to win the biscuit, because I'm in. It says I'm in 6, but I could lose this round. I could go as far down as like 9th or 10th pretty much this round. I could go further. I could go down. I could be potentially I could be as far as 12th after this round. What I reckon Callahan averages for the rest of the year. Mass, I'll give you the same answer, that I gave my friend in Messenger when he asked me how long will Rankin been out. How long is a piece of string? I really don't know, mate. I hope it's good, but with the tags and everything, I'm not too sure. If I could pick a different midfielder, I'd be picking a different midfielder. You know, he's susceptible to the tags. He got that one big score last week. I think he probably averages 105. I pray that he averages 115. I hope he averages 115, 120. That's what I pray to the Supercoach gods. In reality, I think he might average 105. There are a lot of midfielders I'd have over him. Just, I don't know. It just this year he hasn't done it for us this year, and I think I would prefer, somebody else that does, and somebody that maybe isn't as susceptible to the tag. Probably, yeah. All over the shop, the leagues, some I'm in top 3 and others top 8. So there's not just one. I think in that case, whereas you've kind of got to pick one or two. Like for me, I'm in these lovely leagues with all my friends here, and we can have a bit of a chat with all you guys. Most of these people are anything that says what with a big blue thing as you guys on YouTube. So if we view this league, there's Shorty there. Mass, you're leading this league. I think you're leading a couple of our leagues, Mass. So Mass is leading this league. He's leading, and then here Harriers, Rod, he's got this league here. The Cattery, Noah, he's leading this league. And then Haydo's Heroes, Hayden, he's winning this league. And then my overall league, is this you again? Yeah, Ben, Shorty, you're Mass, you're winning, you're doing the overall league. A bit embarrassing, I'm 114th in my own league. But that's how it is. 50 out of 52 in the cash league. I don't think I'll be winning any cash. Yeah, so my score reflects it all the way down. So and these two we've got look at Moi, Chloe. Oh, she's yep, Chloe. This is the one with all the famous people in it. Chloe is leading. And this one, Masters Apprentice, Carly is winning. So well done to all of those people out there who are winning in my league, especially if you're watching us now. We obviously next year we'll do lots of leagues too. If you're not in them this year, make sure you're hanging around with me pre-season next year when we do the leagues. And we also have drafts, and a lot of these people are in my draft leagues as well, which is a lot of fun. But yeah, I think for me it's easy. It's this league here is the important league to me because it's my friends and I get bragging rights. If you've got a cash league, make that your most important. Whereas I think it's fine to have lots of leagues, but so I would concentrate on the ones you're in the top 3. They're the ones, if you're first in number one of them, go to that one, or the top 3. Concentrate on those ones, because if you're going to try and concentrate on all of them, you're probably going to hurt you. Yeah, so did I, which I think is fine late in the season, but I still, next year, even though they score the best, I still won't be starting off with 3 rucks. Even right now, I kind of, especially because they've been scoring a bit shit, Jackson and Grundy not even playing. So for me, it was a complete waste, which is the same thing. It's happened every time I got in a 680k player this year. I still feel the best setup, the beginning of the year, is to have 2 big rucks, which I'll be getting next year. If you started with 2 big rucks and McAndrew there, I understand completely. But to start off with 3 big rucks, you just tie yourself in too much. It's just having the flex is so convenient. I prefer that you, instead of having the best ruck there, have the best midfielder there, have Bailey Smith there, and then play your rookies in the midfield instead. If you haven't already liked, crew, don't forget to like. How many we got now? We got 19. Is that up to date? 20. Oh, we got 21 people watching now, so there's still one person out there who haven't liked. Anyway, crew, I think we're going to call it that a night. I think we got through everyone's team. Is there anybody else out there wants me to show their team on the screen? We can do it. We've still got a little bit of time, do we? So we can show anyone else out if they want to. I think I've chewed your ear off enough. Darren Phillips, you're trying to get into the 8 in your work lead, chasing your tail outside the 8, won last year, 12 trades, 4 primos. So you're like me. You're like, that's your really important league, Darren. You're really trying to get in there. I think in your case, the same as mine, it's okay to burn trades. What do you got to lose? You don't want to finish outside the 8. Sammy Snappers. Darren, we'll chuck it up on the screen. I'm going to be back in 2 seconds, though, when then we're going to do it. Anybody else, if you put your team name here in chat, we'll put it up on the screen. 2 seconds, and I'll be right back, though. All right, we're back. The thanks, Mass. Thanks, Sammy Slappers. We'll still be here for a little bit, I guess now. By the way, does anyone else play GDS? I had a really good week at GDS last week. I like to play all the games. I like my games. So we came 15th in one of them, and I think in the starter one we came 27th, and in contender we came 15th. Considering I've only been playing it for about a year, and a lot of people, I still don't have some of the best cards for some of the best players. That's pretty damn good. I was pretty impressed with myself. Gave myself a pat on the back. What are we doing here? We're going to do a rivalry, and we're going to set up a rivalry, and we're going to find your team. Ricky, this is your team, Ricky? Don't forget, crew, too, if you're still watching, we'll do it next week, I think, or maybe the week after, when we're going to vote on what my team name is going to be for next season. I got 4 contenders, and we'll do a poll, and you guys will pick what I have to name my team next season. All right, let's have a look. Wrong team. Correct spelling, exactly. Capitals and everything. Whereas, exactly, is that exactly the right spelling? Capitals and everything? Because I can't find you. Oh, nope. From one of my leagues. No, I don't want it from one of my leagues. Stupid ruse. All capitals. Can't seem to find you, buddy. I have had these issues before, but I'm putting it in exactly how it should be. Don't think I'm spelling it wrong. SALAMI, all capitals. SLAPPERS. I'm sorry, mate. I don't know what's going on. I have no idea why it's not playing. Why it's not playing. Oh, there's another one. Darren. Darren, could this be you? Are you in one of my leagues? Is this you, buddy? I got a Darren and a Ricky. Yeah, that's it. Hey, we got there eventually. Seano's a bit old and simple, but we got there eventually. So let's have a look. What did you say you had? 11 trades left and 5 primos. Sinclair, Roberts, Wilkie, Stewart. Oh, poor Stewart tagged in tonight. Houston, Dacos. You got some fake primos like me, buddy. Smith, Bont, Dacos, Finn Callahan, Rashenko, Cumming, Anderson, Ison. So you have Butters and LDU would go back there. Yep. Unfortunately, when we do it this way, not through the Discord, it won't update your team to the end of the round. Grundy, Gorn, Sheasel, Petrarca, Flanders, Philippou, Murdoch, Banfield. Yep. Yeah, you've got a few holes to fill, buddy. Like we saw in that number 4 team, I would not worry about your forward line at all. I'd just play either Banfield, Lombard, or Marshall on the field and start really trying to probably do your midfield first. You're going to have one to try and get these 2 spots up to gun mids as soon as possible. And then after you get that done, then maybe to think about getting rid of some of these frauds, depending on what's what's going on. You might you said you have 3 rucks, I think, so I think you must have a ruck down there where I can't see. But yeah, like I did, I got rid of Houston a couple of weeks ago for Grundy. It did not pay off. Grundy didn't play last week, and Houston got 94. So yeah, what do I know? But yeah, I think besides that, I would even think about doing something sneaky like getting Holmes as one of these midfielders, preempting that you want to dump one of these guys in the future. Because let's face it, the Stewart, Houston, and Dacos, just like I kind of have, I've got Clark, I had Houston, and I had Dacos. They're probably not going to take you all the way. They're probably not going to take you all the way. Oh, this is Darren's team. Darren. So I was reading the wrong. 12 trades, 4 primos. 1, 2, 3. You calling you want Philippou as a primo? Or I mean, in theory, yes. but you do have people at, I think these three here are the big hole in your team, which is why my team's not doing very well either. Next year, both people like you and me, Darren, we're going to have to not be picking players like this. Not be picking players like this, and we'll be in a much better position. These three are fine and dandy. These three are going to do you very well. Your midfielders are all very nice. Yes, yes, yes. We're hoping a yes, but good. Yes and yes. And your forwards here, yes, yes. I assume you've got Flanders, rid of Flanders. You've probably got rid of Lindsay this week. So, like I said, if I was you, honestly, I'd be looking to fill out, when I fill out these two midfield positions, I'd be tempted to go Holmes, predicting for in the future getting rid of one of your fake primos in the back line, whipping Holmes back, and then getting another gun midfielder in the forward line. Sorry, in the midfield. Plenty of fakes in there, yeah, Darren. You and me both, buddy. You and me both. I can't knock you because I got them. I got them all except Houston. I got just replace Houston with Clark, and I got the same fake primos you have. We both fell into the same trap, mate. The same good old trap. But the rest of your team looks fine. Actually looks exactly the same as me, except you've still got Lombard, which is probably not fine. But keeping Lombard was smart, mate. I sold him when he was 210. Now you're going up you got up another 70, 80K that's going to help you out. Like next week, I think selling Lombard or Marshall to the 99K rookie Collingwood dude, I think it's fine. Like I say, I think his job security is pretty good. And we all pray that either a West Coast or a Joel Fitzgerald guy comes in the midfield and then get rid of, either Rashenko, Anderson, or Cumming. Maybe if I was you next week, I'd probably get rid of Anderson because he's on his bye anyway, and use Cumming and Rashenko as cover for the rest of the buys. So I would be getting a 99K here somewhere, a 99K here, and then going bang to, if you haven't already sold them out for one of these, to bang to potentially another gun mid. You've got this Lindsay money as well. You've got Lindsay money. You brought in Sanders. That's a great idea by Holmes. Yeah, it is. Especially if you get so who else? So you got Sanders, and who else did you get, mate? Did you get HK? Did you get Hunter Killer? Because the Holmes and Hunter Killer combo could be very valuable come the end of the season. Sanders for Flanders. That rhymes, so it must be good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You got a lot of people out on that round 16 bye, but I can't say much, so sorry. Yeah, I know he did. So we're praying that he gets named. I got a feeling Melbourne would have already said if they're going to name, if he was going to play this week. So maybe in the week after, or maybe one of the Eagles boys. Apparently, Herbert, the Herbert one, Sherbert Herbert, is going to did very well on the waffle as well. So, like I said, I think we could probably do with a replacement for Deb Robertson in the midfield. And if he's doing very well on the waffle, maybe he gets a go as well. So one of those guys would be nice. I do think, but the Collingwood rookie, I think, will be fine as well. I don't think he'll score a lot, but I think Collingwood need him, and I think they're going to play him. So he'll get you good coverage, and he's 99K. The Goey and the Crow Kid. So you got Sanders, De Goey. So you got Sanders and De Goey in these two spots, and the Crow Kid for Lindsay. Have to wait on this forward only. Already got Edwards and Henry on the bench. Yeah, I've got Edwards. I'm Mass. I'm not in the same situation that you are, but Edwards can go for me. He's tanked his cash gen, He's tanked his cash gen. even if he came out and got 60s, which, he plays for Essendon, so he's not going to get much opportunity. Even if he came out and got 60s, what does that give him? Means he goes up to 250. I might just sell Edwards and get the 100K. I know it's a dumb thing that I've done plenty of times before. Maybe wait one more week afterwards just to see if he can get a spike score. But his break even is at 36 and he's predicted to get 44 and he got 27 last week. If he gets a 50, he does bugger all. So I still personally might go 99K for Rashenko, and then depending on how long Cluggage is out for, and then no, I'll be going 99K and Marshall up to Ash, and then I'll probably go another 99K, and then potentially even McCluggage up to a gun midfielder, and then just living on a prayer. 200 grand. If we all only had 200 grand in our pockets, that'd be nice. So I think it's fine, buddy. I think I don't know. Like I said, I prefer instead of use. I like Sanders, but a gun midfielder has a better chance of getting you a bigger score. So like Anderson can make a bit of money this week, but if you could get like Rao or Noah Anderson instead of Sanders, or you got DeGoey as well, right? Is that what you said? You got DeGoey and brought in Sanders. DeGoey and the Crow Kid. I mean, I guess both. You're doing a little bit what I'm doing. You're stacking your forward line. I just don't. It hasn't worked for me so far this season. So I'd prefer to get a midfielder. The only good thing about doing the way you're doing it is that your mid guy who's going to play in this position in the 23rd player has a lot chance of getting a more higher score than if you've got a Lombard or a Marshall or a Banfield on the field here. But I would still think that if you could get, instead of giving a DeGoey or a Sanders, or pick the one you like, or pick the one with the lowest break even, get coming up to a absolute gun. One of the guys coming off their buys, Dawson would have been good. Noah Anderson, you've already got LDU. Maybe you can take a risk on Rao. I think that overall would help you win your leagues more than the two forward guys. Maybe. That's just me, though. You do what you think is right. You've already done it, so. Essendon are full of fakes. They are full of fakes. Even though, I'm hoping, I see you got Sharp sitting here on the bench, Darren. I'm hoping that Sharp comes back and they have to play him because it's Essendon, full of injuries and they're shit. And he'll be pretty good. I hope he'll be playing in the midfield. Before he got injured, he was on 40 at half time. He could be a good 23rd player. He could. I mean, he's not going to be great. You'd prefer a Zorko or someone like that, but he could be a good 23rd. And if he has to be a 24th, he could be a good 24th. Whereas your team's screaming Galars. I rate Richards better than I rate Rao. Just because I'm just a little bit scared of Rao because we haven't really seen it this season. But last year, Rao was a gun. Rao was my boy. I got him for $450, and he was pretty much the best midfielder I had for the second half of the season after I bought him. He was the best bargain. He was my best buy, and he paid me off the best. So I'm going to back the guy in again this year, but I really like Richards. If we look at CBAs, Richards always has, besides him and Bont have the most CBAs always. Always. 70 every single time. Like there's Bont and Ed Richards. You know, that's the two of them, and that's it. And then here, who was the difference here? So someone else must have been getting a few, which wasn't before. Like, so Sanders now has taken a few off him. Sanders has taken a few off him by the looks of things. And I know it's just Rory Lobb, Fraser. So Sanders has taken a few, but not too much. Like, I really like Ed Richards. If Ed Richards had round 12 bye, I would have bought him this week. If he didn't have the round 16 bye, he had the round 12 bye, I would have bought him this week. He seems to get a lot of possessions. He likes to kick. Like Rao likes to handball more than he likes to kick. Supercoach doesn't love that. Means Rao has to get a lot of contested possessions. So look at these two scores. So the last 2 weeks, Ed Richards has got a 140 and a 130. Now in those, the 140 he had 13 contested possessions, and the 130 had 7 contested possessions. He doesn't need a lot of contested possessions to score. And this is why Noel Anderson is also a better pick than Rao, I think, as well. They kick more, handball less, don't need as many contested possessions to get a big score, to get a 130 or a 140. Rao needs this contested possession number to be over 10. Pretty much he needs to get the 30 possessions, but his contested possession needs to be over 10, you know, for him to win. Not only that, like, look at, he's kicked 3 goals and 2 goals in the last 2 weeks. I didn't notice that, but I mean, that's pretty good. He hasn't done that all season, so that's a bit of a rarity. He scored 2 goals this 144. So to get a big score, he needs to score. It looks like he needs to score goals as well. This score, he didn't score goals, where he got a 133. I still really like him. I still think he'll, like earlier on the stream, I said I predict he'll be in the top 6 to 8 midfielders at the end of the season. Just the kick to handball ratio and the fact that it doesn't completely rely on contested possessions, I like. I would like to see a few more contested possessions and a few less goals, you know. Like these ones here, 117, 117. He scored a goal in both. So looks like goal kicking midfielders. I like them. Darren and you are in the same league. Yeah, Darren, I'm only going guns on rookies next year too. If you guys care or want to check it out, I did make a mid-season review video this week and put it up. And I went through and I did a little list of everything I'm going to do different next year. And at the end of the year, we'll do an end-of-season review. And then when we do next season, when we pick it, we're going to bring those up and we're going to read our rules and we're going to follow our rules. And we kind of did it last year, but we didn't follow our rules. This year, we're going to follow our rules. And we would have been a lot better situation if we had followed our rules that we wrote down last year. So if we compare that to a Mr. Rao, CBAs for Gold Coast Suns, and then we'll sum it up after this crew. We'll do this and then we'll sum it up. So Matt Rao, yeah, I mean, I traded him out, which I'm kicking myself for. I really shouldn't have traded out Nando's. He's the same as Richards. He has that, lots of kicks, not so many handballs, doesn't need a ton of possessions to get a big score. So Rao, he got a 130 last week, but besides that, he's been okay, but he got a 125. To get that 113, he needed 14 contested possessions. To get the 125, he needed 17 contested possessions. With both of those things, last year, he did that a lot. But last year, like, look at all. So after I got him last year during the mid-season, I think I got him right about in the middle of the season. I think he got a stack of hundreds. I think he went 106, 147, like all of these huge ones. Like, look at this, 156, 161, 143, 136, 146, 117. They're massive scores. But the game is not as stoppage-based as what it was last year. If you look contested possession, he had 19. He had 19, he had 18, he had 16, he had 23, he had 14. So basically, he needs 15 or more possessions, contested possessions, to go big. And if you look at handballs, he's almost always handballing more than what he is kicking. So the game with the new rules suits the Noel Andersons and the Ed Richards more than it suits the Matt Rouse. Now, that doesn't mean I don't think Matt Rao is going to be good. I just mean I think these peak scores of the 140, 145, whereas there was another big, 147, 156, 161, 143, 134, 146. I reckon take 20 points off those scores. So instead of getting a 147, he gets a 125. Instead of getting a 156, he gets a 130. 160, he gets a 130. 140 gets a 120. So he could still score really well. I just think it's a lot harder for him to score these on this massive run that he did last year. But I'm backing my boy in that he can still get those 120s and 130s regularly enough to make his price 115 worthwhile. You know, I'm hoping that it pays off. And I hope that come winter, there's a lot of really bloody rainy, contested heavy games in Gold Coast and wherever he plays. And that makes him, able to get some of those really big scores again. Campbell Lake, St Kilda, mid forward, 99k. Was he a mid season draft guy? Campbell Lake, forward, VFL 2000. You guys might not be able to see that. VFL 2026, he's averaging 96. In 25, he averaged 68. Well, that's another one we get to look at. That's two that we get to look at. We get to look at the Collingwood guy and the St Kilda guy. Nice, Mass. Nice. This team's is going well. Not his usual effort. Normally runs out of trades, Darren. Giving him a little bit of a dig while you're both here. What's what's your team? Whereas did I add the rivalry? Good. It's good when you have friends in the same league, right, guys? Makes it a lot more fun. Screaming Galahs. I thought it would be there, but it's not. They're just the ones I have rivalries against. How are you doing? 14,000. Nice rank, boys. It's not bad. It's pretty good. Sinclair, Dale, Roberts, Wilkie, Dacos, Selwood with Oliver and Dirksen. Still got Selwood. Probably time to flog him off soon. But he could give you some coverage through the buys, so fine. Smith, Bont, Merritt, Dacos, Murdoch coming, Anderson, Ison. You got Butters, Petrarca, Edwards, Gorn. You already gone the Co. You gone the Collingwood and Co. Could get a game. Didn't get a game. Well, they haven't said. Again, I assume that if he was going to be named, they would have told us when they told us about the other kid. So I got a feeling that they're not going to name him this week. But Collingwood do like the double ruck this year, so I think he could get a go. Grundy, Tracy, Flanders, Smith, Daniels, Scary, Curtin. You know what? Sheasel and Pickett, very nice. Can't see what your flex is, but not bad. Very good, especially for your overall rank. You're in a really good position to, move and shake a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised. He should be playing him, seeing that he is 27 years old. Flexus Sherry, nice. 27, you young whippersnappers. Used to do another stream on Twitch where I used to call this young fella a whippersnapper. He thought it was hilarious. He was from the US, the Whippersnappers Club we had. You're probably a little bit old for a whippersnapper at 27. Or I'm just too old, one way or the other. Not too bad. Not nice team, mate. Nice team. Good ranking. Can improve. Go for your leagues. Have a big duke out when you two guys play each other. I always like it when I play. Like sometimes my league mates will turn up here, but Brad turns up sometimes. But it's all good fun. That's what makes Supercoach a lot of fun, I think, and it keeps you going when you're having a bad year like I am. Hopefully, it's not going to be too many in the future. But when your mates play Supercoach as well, and you're having a bad year, it's still fun to chat about. You. I got a friend every week. He's like, "Team's done. It's over." He had a really good year last year too. And he's like, "It's over. I give up. I quit." It's going to be funny. Anyway, crew, I think we will call it there. I'm just going to do one last thing before we go. Dan Curtin, 350. Bad score, bad score, bad score, bad score. Smacks out 100 this week. All right. Can't be trusted to get a decent score, but did smack a decent score this week. Get Seano in the league last night. Yep. Send me codes, mate. If anyone wants me to join their league, if anyone wants an easy beat in their league, send me the codes. I'll be there for someone you can beat up on. Plus, like, don't forget, every year I'll have multiple leagues, as you said, as I showed. And yeah, we'll do that. And if we asked if anyone wanted to do cash leagues this year and we didn't get much interest, wouldn't have been very good for me. So probably worked out in my favor. But if people want to do cash leagues next year, we can always do that as well. And yeah, we'll see how we go. Actually, yeah, I went in, as you saw, I'm in that one. I'm in the swordplay one, the charity one, and I'm coming second last. So there'll be no cash for Seano this year. Anyway, crew, I think at this point we're going to say goodbye and good night. Good night to you, Karen. You're still awake, so that's nice to see. Hope everyone's Supercoach team does very well. I'm actually a little bit excited that my team is predicted to score 1956 in a buy round. This happens every time, though. It probably won't happen, but, you know, at least it's actually seems a decent projection. Maybe even get over 2,000 if I could get myself a lucky captain score. But we will see. I've just jinxed myself by saying that. But I hope all you guys and girls do very well and have a great day and a great Supercoach week. And I'll say goodbye to everyone like I usually do. But before we do that, if you haven't already like now. We're going to go. So just like now. Subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Do both those things right now if you haven't already. And watch me. If you're watching this in the future, make sure you do those things. And if you're watching in the future, also leave me a comment down below. Tell me who you traded in and out. Tell me who your vice captains and captains are. What else is going on? And if you want me to put your team up on the screen next Thursday, make sure you put it in the post my team section in my Discord. There'll be a link to my Discord in the comments and in my video description down below. And well, there was going to be one more thing. I kind of forgot what I was going to say. And should Eagles beat Port? I hope they do, but we will see. Eagles are still young. Anything can happen. They can be really good one week and not so good the next, but they've been really good the last couple of weeks. And honestly, I kind of just hope they put up a good fight. And if they win, even better. You know, that's where I'm at with Eagles at the moment. If they don't lose by 100 points and put up a good fight, I'm pretty happy. Any wins are a bonus because I predicted 0 wins at the beginning of this season, and we've already won 4 games, so that's 400% better than what I thought we'd be doing. So I'm pretty damn happy with the Eagles, to be honest. And you can actually see on the horizon. You can see if we can keep the decent players, you know, there is hope on the horizon, which I didn't see much hope in the last couple of years. But so I hope they do. And yep, like we said, we usually go through the names. So thank you, Karen. Have a good night. Whereas, thank you, Darren. Thank you for being here. Mass, thank you for being here. Who else have we got coming up? Tiger Matty, you're already gone, but it's always a pleasure, mate. Andrew, good to see you, mate. Well done on your team as well. Oh, no, it's Chris. Chris with the top 4 team. Thank you very much for letting us put your team up on the screen and diving into your brain a little bit, Chris. It's always, and like I said, hope you win the 50K, mate. It's great to see one of the big dogs coming out and hanging out with little old Seano. And who else have we got? Pezza, good to see you, Pezza. Lansy, thank you, Lansy. Thank you for letting us put your team up, and everybody else, let's put their team up. Thank you very much. Corey, Michael, West Coast Eagles, Hoof Hearted, Kumar. Hope you settled down a little bit, Kumar. You were pretty fiery earlier on. I hope you chilled now. You had a few chill pills and a beer or so and relaxed a little bit. Maddie the Great, thanks for being here, mate. Infant Spirit, thank you for your comment. And I think an Aussie M8130 who liked before the stream even started. Okay, crew, I think that's everyone. Really appreciate you all. And hopefully I will talk to you all again very soon.